They come from all across the world, from many different lands. The brave from Britain, the confident from America, the determined from Japan, and anyone else, anywhere else, who wants to step up to the challenge. 100 challengers compete across a 4-stage obstacle course devised by the devil. Success means glory. Failure means humiliation. It truly is win or die. Many have tried. Very few have succeeded. But they all have one goal: to become the next champion. This is Ninja Warrior of Halo! Hello guys, I'm Hunt Unit 751, and welcome back to Ninja Warrior of Halo. Today marks the beginning of Tournament 22 in this course's history. Once again, 100 challengers have arrived to take on the 4-stage obstacle course, where each stage brings with it a new challenge for our competitors. In Stage 1, all 100 challengers will face 9 obstacles that will test their general jumping ability. The survivors on Stage 2 will have their speed and skill put to the test across 6 quick-fire obstacles. The elite that make it to Stage 3 will then face arguably the toughest obstacles on the course. And if anyone is still standing after all that, they face the ultimate challenge, a race to the top of the tower in the final stage. In the last tournament, 100 challengers stepped up once again, and we saw a sweet 16 survive the first stage. There was plenty of new blood moving on, as 6 of the 16 survivors defeated the first stage for their first time ever, and then 4 of the 7 that made it past Stage 2 also defeated that stage for their first time. But the biggest twist of them all came on the 3rd stage. Not only did we get our first ever clear on Stage 3 on the Xbox One, but we ended up having a record 3 competitors reach the final stage. Rog, Strafe, and Smokey were the heroes in Tournament 21, but unfortunately, each of them was defeated by the final stage in a different way. Strafe discovered just how tough the new final stage was, falling at the halfway point. Our reigning champion Smokey found himself out of time on his climb, whilst the Spartan Sasuke host Rog came up just 2 jumps short of reaching the top of the tower. That performance, though, was enough to see Rog finish in first place. Our 3 finalists are all back today, and they are amongst a record group of returning competitors. In fact, this is the first time since Tournament 9 that we've had more returning competitors than newcomers. The reason for so many returnees is that with this tournament taking place in April 2020, it marks the landmark 10-year anniversary since the first ever tournament that took place on Halo 3. Since then, we've gone through 5 different Halo games and had 1,500 attempts on the course. Now, we have reached yet another huge milestone.
It's crazy to believe this course has been around for 10 years. You know, it's such a storied history, and coming into what could potentially be the final Halo 5 tournament, I'm really looking forward to seeing what's in store for this tournament.
It feels good that this course has lasted so long. I mean, 10 years is a long time. I feel pretty good to be able to compete on this one. Yeah, I've been here pretty much the whole 10-year span, so it's definitely kind of weird to be like on a Halo 5 minigame or just a Halo minigame in general, and be like so dedicated and just have like a group of jumpers that are so dedicated nowadays. I'm looking forward to my run. Hopefully I don't fail Stage 1 or something, but yeah, I think it'll be a good tournament.
Yeah, a strange British man told me this was the 10th anniversary, which seems like a little bit too long to be doing jumping tournaments, but here we all are, ready to have a good time. Hopefully I don't break my leg in half again on the warped wall.
Exciting. Absolute history has happened on this course, and I absolutely love everything about Halo Ninja Warrior. And overall, it's just Ninja Warrior of Halo. so many different variations on YouTube. It's crazy to keep up, but overall, lovely course. I love running it. I love doing it every time. Just good to be back. Yeah.
It's like the longest running jumping course is always super cool to be a part of it, and it's amazing to see it evolve and see everybody turn out still. And it's going to be an exciting tournament. I think our last tournament ended. Everyone's on a really high note, and everyone thinks that they could all get to the victory. And I think that a total victory will happen this tournament.
This thing's been going for 10 years.
Man, this is awesome. 10 years of Ninja Warrior of Halo. And I've been a part of a decent chunk of it. But to be here now and to be in the 22nd tournament, I'm just super excited. It's always fun whenever a new tournament's going on. This year, 2020, has been pretty crazy. And I'm excited to have something positive to look forward to. So definitely can't wait to see how this tournament unfolds. There's a lot of new obstacles, a lot of changes. And I'm excited for it.
Despite reaching the 10-year anniversary, this tournament begins with the world in chaos. The global pandemic has affected everybody, and those stepping up for this tournament will hope it is a welcome distraction that brings plenty of optimism and joy. But for every dark cloud, there is also a silver lining. Plenty of well-known names have now started hosting their own courses, meaning the variety of competitions for our competitors is greater than ever before in the history of Halo jumping. But all of those guys will not be worrying about hosting right now. Instead, their focus will be on defeating the first stage. Stage 1 has had a major overhaul since the last tournament, starting right from the beginning with the sextuple steps back for the first time since Tournament 19. They then move on to the first of 2 new obstacles, the circle hammer, with the ball drop now modified to be more difficult and moved to the 3rd obstacle. The jumping spider has also been modified with the run-up changed, but the jump into the spider has been made slightly easier. Then it is the half-pipe attack, which is the only obstacle on stage 1 that remains exactly the same as it was in the last tournament. That then leads on to the warped wall in a new position and has also been made slightly easier. And then the second of our new obstacles, the slider jump. Our competitors have to launch themselves up into the head slide and then throw themselves onto the net where they have to go over or under. After that, it's a drop onto the Tarzan rope now, into the rope ladder to complete stage 1. The time limit has been bumped back up to 130 seconds, and along with all the changes made, our competitors also face the threat of the weather. Heavy rain hit the course the day before this tournament began, and although the rain has now stopped, clouds still surround the course and the obstacles are slipping. Who will have what it takes to overcome all of these challenges? Let's head to the start line of stage 1 to find out.
Feeling pretty good. Just as confident as my first time, I suppose. Hoping for another successful run at it. 20 appearances on the same course just feels so unique, extraordinary. It's just cool. It's a cool accolade to say I have achieved.
Kicking off Tournament 22 is the All-Star Could Be Better, or Phil. Phil makes history today as he becomes the first ever competitor to reach 20 appearances on this course. He made his debut back in Tournament 2, the first Halo Reach tournament and the first tournament where this was an official course. He then missed Tournament 3 but came back for Tournament 4 and has never missed a tournament since. In fact, his 19 consecutive appearances is another record that Phil holds on this course. In 19 previous attempts, he has cleared stage 1 8 times, but that does not tell the full story of his career. Of his 11 stage 1 failures, 5 of those came on the last obstacle. This included 3 in a row from tournaments 12 through to 14, but he managed to bounce back in the perfect way. In tournaments 15 and 16, both occasions he made it to the 3rd stage, and both times he ended up producing personal best results. After reaching the jumping bars in Tournament 16, his career so far on the Xbox One has not gone according to plan. He has failed Stage 1 in 5 straight tournaments, which includes back-to-back fails on the flying chute. In Tournament 20, he was able to defeat the flying chute and finish the first stage, but he ran out of time on the rope ladder, and a wait to return to Stage 2 continued. In the last tournament, he went in feeling underprepared, and it showed. He failed the half-pipe attack for the second time in his career, with the first failure coming in Tournament 19. Despite all these failures, Phil has shown on this course back in the past, and on other courses on Halo 5, that he does still have the ability to succeed. The question is, will Phil be able to produce the comeback that he wants on this, his landmark 20th appearance? Or will his streak of Stage 1 struggles continue? Phil, what a legendary moment for this legendary competitor. The first man ever to reach 20 appearances on this course. The nearest thing we have to a Shingo Yamamoto on Niwa. The crowd watching on. Weapon Matt, who seemingly retired from the last tournament, has shown up to support Phil, alongside Alpha Puma and newcomer Joey Davis, who we'll see later on. But this is all about Phil. He is off for his 20th time on Stage 1. It is crazy to think, you know, I said in the profile, 19 consecutive appearances. The only tournament he's ever missed was Tournament 3. And actually, the funny story about that one is he turned up for Tournament 4, thinking it was Tournament 3. I told him, no, this is Tournament 4, you've missed it. And yeah, didn't let him do like a late run for Tournament 3. And as a result, that's the only tournament he's ever missed, because he didn't know which tournament he was competing in, which I guess is kind of funny. But Phil is making light work of these first few obstacles, going straight for the jumping spider and into it. You can already tell he looks super confident with how fast he's going. He put a lot more practice in for this tournament than he did in the last tournament. But now for the half-pipe attack. This is where he failed in the last tournament, but he gets it this time.
Nice job, Phil.
Confidence.
Phil is putting on a dominating performance so far. He's up the wart wall in one. He's got just under a minute to go. He is destroying the course right now as he goes for the slider jump. No! Phil! What have you done? Phil is disqualified. He is out on the slider jump. How has he screwed this up? Phil, he was looking so dominant on the whole course. He crushed the first 6 obstacles. But here on the slider jump, you cannot go down the middle. You have to go down one of the 2 split sides. If you go down the middle, you'll get launched up into the air and you will be disqualified. And just like that, he is out.
Indecisive.
Oh!
Would that have counted for something?
Yeah, would that have counted?
Phil, that is absolutely gut-wrenching. He snatched defeat from the jaws of victory. It really looked like this was going to be the tournament he was on his way back to Stage 2. But instead, he suffers his 6th Stage 1 failure in a row. What a gut-wrenching start to the tournament. We almost had the perfect start with a clear at number 1, but now we can move on to contestant number 2, Kasud, our first newcomer of the tournament. It almost feels kind of weird, actually. You know, normally we have some newcomer at number 1 who usually puts on a pretty average performance, probably failing the first obstacle. But instead, you know, we had that great run by Phil just now. It almost feels like, you know, the tournament starts now at contestant 2. But Kasud is through the first obstacle, and he's going too fast through the circle hammer, and he crashes out the other side of it. That is the key factor with that obstacle. You cannot go too fast. And Kasud, the HBL player, is out. Now we can move on, and it is time for Future Carton 732 to take on the course. Another newcomer, How will he fare? 130 seconds, and he's off and out on the sextuple steps. That was bound to happen very early on at some point. First man to fail the first step. Contestant number 4, Ghost Friend, another newcomer. Let's see how he fares. 130 seconds, can he beat the first jump? Ooh, only just, but yes, he did do it. Can he beat the rest of the obstacle? Making his way through, taking his time a little bit more than Kasud did. I keep always... Is it Kasud or is it cursed? I don't actually know. I kind of just say both. I don't even know why I'm talking about this, because Kasud's already dead. And Ghost Friend's dead. Ghost Friend's dead with him. He also crashes out the far end of the circle hammer. He almost slowed himself down enough, but not quite. Now we're already, just like that, on to contestant number 5. It's Drew TV, our first regular of the tournament. This is his 3rd appearance. In the last tournament, he went out on the ball drop. Almost made it to the end, but just fell off after that second drop. As he goes for the sextuple steps, lands very low on that first step, but immediately shoots for the second step. Now he's moving, not the fastest, but reasonably smooth through the first obstacle. He failed the first obstacle on his debut, then went out on the second obstacle, but the ball drop is now the 3rd obstacle. So can he get to it and defeat the circle hammer? He's going all the way around the outside. He's hanging on the edge, but he is surviving. This is not the trickiest obstacle in the world. It is mainly a time waster, but there is that fail factor if you go too fast and you shoot out of the head slide. But Drew has done it. Now, can he get revenge on the ball drop? Pushes the ball to get it rolling. Is he going to go for a full send technique? He's waiting. Drew, this isn't going to work. Drew, no, he's out. Drew is defeated. That technique will not work anymore. Let's take a look in the last tournament. We saw a few different competitors pull off the full send technique in the last tournament, but the obstacle has been redesigned for this tournament and the dismount has been pushed further away, as well as being now an angled landing platform, which means that technique will not work. Well, following Drew's failure, more newcomers stepped up to the course, but could not deliver a performance, including Gamers Pro, who proved that he certainly wasn't a pro on this course, failing the sextuple steps, but he did better than Tink J. Carter, who also failed the first jump. DK Danny did the same thing as Kursud and Ghost Friend, just too fast through the circle hammer. Retro, lots of numbers, failed the first jump. Jill the Great was not great on the sextuple steps. Thanos decided to take a break from collecting Infinity Stones to fail the circle hammer. And then Batu Cesar failed the second obstacle. So not very good, really. After a great start with Phil's run, almost everyone else has gone out on one of the first 2 obstacles. But now we can move on to one of our star performers in the last tournament. Looking to pick up where he left off is the new veteran, Bananarama. He is today making his 5th appearance on the course, having competed in every Halo 5 tournament so far. His debut performance in Tournament 18 was nothing spectacular, going out on the jumping spider, but what followed after that really put eyes on him. On his 2nd appearance in Tournament 19, he made it all the way to the final obstacle of Stage 1 before running out of time. He didn't know it then, but that performance was good enough to see him finish in 4th place. Out of the 97 competitors that failed Stage 1 in Tournament 19, he got the closest of any of them to advancing to Stage 2. That brought with it expectations that he could get his first Stage 1 clear in Tournament 20. Unfortunately, he fell just short once again. But in Tournament 21, he was able to live up to the pressure. Not only did he have the speed and the composure to finally bag his first Stage 1 clear, he then showed that he had the tenacity to perform under pressure on Stage 2. Despite having many struggles with the salmon ladder, he persevered and then picked up the pace just enough to finish the second stage within the time limit, advancing as one of 7 competitors to the third stage. Unfortunately, that is where the dream came to an end. He exited the earliest out of all of them, going out on the second obstacle, the globe grasp. Now he is back today, looking to make it to the second stage for a second time. Bananarama. Without doubt, one of the stars from the last tournament, one of the surprise successes. But can he prove his performance in the last tournament was no fluke? He starts his first appearance as a veteran. He's quite low in the run order, only number 13, having got all the way to stage 3 in the last tournament. But the reason for that is he requested this number and wants to prove, as I say, that his performance in the last tournament was no fluke. As he moves nicely through the circle hammer, takes a little shortcut out of there. That's going to save him a bit of time. But yeah, with him being so low in the run order, this guy definitely has the potential to be the first stage 1 clear of the tournament. Moving nicely through the ball drop, takes a save jump, and is through. He's a man who perfects his techniques. We've seen that so far on his previous appearances. He jumped a little early there for the spider off the trampoline, but he made it work and is moving smoothly through. On to the half pipe attack. He goes right for this. Can he get it just like Phil did? Yes, he can. Uses the bouncer to slow himself down. And the dismount, yes. Now moving up towards the warped wall. Not as fast as Phil, but still doing pretty well on time. Misses the wall on the first attempt though. And the second. This obstacle's caused him problems in the past. He almost gets it on the third attempt. Come on, Banana, you need to think about getting up this wall now. You're starting to run out of time. You need to get up the wall on this attempt. He's up it. He's got 28 seconds left. He must hurry. It might still not be enough time as he goes for the slider jump. He's missed it. Bananarama is out on the slider jump. Our stage 3 finalist from the last tournament is defeated by stage 1 this time around. He went down the slider, but he was too far to the left, missed that column. At least he attempted the obstacle the way you're supposed to attempt it, unlike Phil. But that is the way, well, that is the most common way to fail that obstacle. And Bananarama, the success story from the last tournament, is a shock early exit in this tournament. 2 big-time competitors out on stage 1, both on the slider jump. But now we can move on to Sterling 139, another newcomer. Let's see if he can produce a spectacular performance. Well, it's spectacularly short at least. Just goes to show that even if you full send the first step, it does not guarantee your safety. But now we can move on to the first of our new course hosts.
Hello everyone and welcome back to another tournament of Ninjas of Halo. But first he has to get there as he's going through the stage quickly and he's out on the jump hang! What on earth? I was not expecting that. Look at this! Smokey just gets a bad jump on the jump hang. He jumps a bit too early. He's got it into the flying chute. This is the ninja killer so far. He gets a good jump, but he doesn't get a save! Chumpy is out on the flying chute!
There we saw Ninjas of Halo, produced by Sonic Fan. Although technically not one of the pandemic courses that started up, you know, after everything that's happened in 2020. Sonic did actually start his course up in 2019. So, you know, he's a pre-pandemic course, but even so, one of the new generation of competitors that have started up their own courses. But Sonic's not focused on that right now. He's here looking to build on his first appearance that he made in the last tournament. Back today for his second appearance as he also takes the shortcut. Now, he failed on the third obstacle on his debut in the last tournament, but that was the swinging pipes. There are no more swinging pipes, and he beat the ball drop last time out. Oh no, Sonic! No, he goes out on the third obstacle again. But this time it's the ball drop. He just got a little bit out of control. Tried to save it, but couldn't. Now we move on to Charlie and Owen. Why is he jiggling around like a crazy man? That's interesting. He had such a desperate attempt at trying to save himself on the swinging pipes in the last tournament. You saw how many save jumps he just got there, but it wasn't enough. Let's see if Charlie can push on in today's tournament. He's coming up to the ball drop where Sonic just failed. Can he defeat this? Control nicely. Takes a save jump as it goes over the second one. He's save jumping all over the place and he falls off the side. Another man down on the ball drop. He was slipping and sliding all over the place there. Maybe the effect of the wet weather. Hey, it's Demigods, another HBL player, back for his second appearance. He had a pretty disastrous debut run in the last tournament, going out on the first obstacle. So let's see if he can beat the first obstacle this time around. Sextuple steps, probably considered a more difficult first obstacle than the rapid climb. But Demi's looking pretty good at the minute, got a smooth rhythm. Not full sending, but he does get through it. Nice job, Demi. Alright, turns out he finally put the ball down, stopped shooting hoops, and started jumping on some courses. Oh, he's going a little fast there. He was going slow, picked up the pace, but did manage to keep himself in it, which I guess is the most important thing. Because, you know, who wants to die on the circle hammer? He also takes the shortcut. Demi's definitely been putting in the practice. Either that or he's watched, like, everyone else that's taken the shortcut so far. He's on to the ball drop. Last two guys have failed this. Demi's all over the place on this ball, but he's hanging on. Oh, come on, Demi, you're almost there. He goes for it, and he gets it. Only the third competitor to beat the ball drop so far in this tournament. And he's on to the jumping spider. Is this the breakout performance we've been waiting for from Demi? Yeah, no. Oh, dear. Well, that's disappointing, Demi, isn't it? Well, following on from that, more competitors stepped up, including Derelicts, who became the first competitor to fail the half-pipe attack in this tournament. And his run, along with Demi's, actually started a chain of performances where several competitors got further into stage one, but still couldn't progress, apart from the Honey Badger, who failed on the sextuple steps. Returning competitor Bubba Ace, the host of Ninja Warrior of Roblox. He got to the warped wall in the last tournament, but sadly took one step back today, failing the half pipe. Reach 0360 was back for his second appearance. He took a step forward. He failed the swinging pipes in the last tournament, this time getting to the jumping spider. Newcomer Lake Kiter managed to get to the half pipe attack like Derelicts did. And then we had Toby. Just Toby, who didn't know what he was doing on the jumping spider and flopped out. Well, as we approach the quarter mark on stage one, we have plenty of big-time jumpers coming up later. Drago, the all-time legend in Halo jumping, is back today. His stage one clear record of 11 clears was tied in the last tournament, and one of the two competitors that tied that record, Elite MKB, is looking to break it and become the first man to reach 12 stage 1 clears in this course's history. We also have Alpha Puma back today, who will be hoping this tournament will be the one where he can make it to the final stage. And speaking of the final stage, all eyes will definitely be on our final three runners on stage 1. Strafe Helix, Rog, and the Grand Champion Smokey Massacre will be the final three runners to go, all hoping that they can get back to the final stage in this tournament. But as I say, that is for the future. For now, we have contestant number 25, Tricky Cyrus. This is his second appearance. As you saw there, he went out on the swinging pipes on his debut. Tricky, I'm not going to lie, actually, I should probably apologize. I kind of made a few jokes about his run in the last tournament, even though he was fast-forwarded. But this guy, hopefully he'll leave a comment down below. If you check out his channel, he's got quite a lot of content of all sorts. You know, he's a massive supporter of Halo jumping and of Ninja in general, and some of his videos he puts up on A&W stuff, especially the A&W content, gets a ton of views. So I gotta give credit where credit's due to Tricky. And he's come a long way as a jumper since his debut in the previous tournament. But can he push on and defeat the third obstacle this time around and set a personal best? We've already seen a few competitors fail to do that, like Sonic, but not Tricky. Nice job by Cyrus. Now, can he crack the jumping spider? He also jumps early, but he still gets into it. Making his way through the inside, picking up the pace. And he's through another obstacle. Time for the half-pipe attack. He is starting to run out of time, though. 45 seconds left on the clock. He goes for it. Oh, Tricky! He just about gets into the head slide, but he falls out when he hits the bouncer. That is so unlucky, Tricky. He almost looked like he'd missed the head slide, then he got it, and then he almost beat it, but he didn't. I think that one can go down as pretty darn unlucky for Tricky. I didn't even see this guy's name. High Tired Ball, I believe it was. Another newcomer. Not at all a reference maybe to another well-known competitor, but he's out on the first obstacle, so it doesn't even matter. This newcomer is beaten, but the next newcomer did know how to beat the sextuple steps. This is Tails Sucks 0904. I'm sure absolute no relation whatsoever to Sonic Fan, who we saw earlier. First we had Sonic, now we've had Tails. Now I'm just waiting for friggin' Knuckles to show up. Maybe Dr. Eggman. Oh god, no, please don't let Amy show up. Please. Anyone who's watched that Sonic Let's Play that I did on my channel knows how much I hate Amy. Please don't let Amy show up. You know, bring back Beth or something, please. Anyone but Amy. But Tails gets through the ball drop. Nice job by him. Does better than Sonic. Now he's teabagging quite a lot as he goes for the jumping spider. Oh god, he only just gets into it. But he is surviving. Making his way through, starting to pick up the pace as he makes his way out the other side. No! He's gone! What? How did he... What just happened? He failed the dismount of the jumping spider. Correct me if I'm wrong, I don't think we've ever seen a competitor fail the dismount of the jumping spider before. He just didn't sprint. He was going quickly through the inside of the spider, picked up the pace, and he just didn't sprint when he went for the dismount jump. And the crowd, and the others are disappointed. So disappointed that Tails Fail has started a fight amongst the crowd. That's not good. Someone needs to get security out for that. Now we join another newcomer, Absecco, as he takes on the ball drop. Making his way through it. He's going for the back and forth strategy. A bit like what we saw from Demi. But it looks like he keeps his control and he beats it. He has used up a lot of time though, looking at the clock there. Now for the jumping spider. He's eyeing it up. Okay, for a second then I thought he was going to go for it from the line. I would have been very impressed if he'd made the jump from that far forward, but he does get into it. Can he avoid the mistake that Tails just made? You know, just when you think you've seen every sort of failure on this course, someone finds a new one, as Tails just did. Now he's going for the half-pipe, he's stuttering, he's cautious, and it costs him as the half-pipe attack chews him up and spits him back out. Another man down, and now we can move on to our next competitor, who is another new course host and a man looking for vengeance.
What is up, guys? It's your boy, Ed Planet Champ. Welcome to Tournament 14 of Halo Sasuke. On now to the Lumberjack climb, and he gets a pretty good jump, and Flame overshoots! Oh no! Flame gets it started. It's rolling. No! Matt! No! Matt!
Next up on stage one, we have Atlantic Champ. Atlantic is today making his 6th appearance on the course, and he has his eyes set on one obstacle. Across his 5 previous appearances, he has been defeated by the jumping spider on 3 occasions, including both of the last 2 tournaments. So to get himself prepared for this tournament, Atlantic decided to whisk himself away to his lovely country home out in the woods, where he's had his own personal version of the obstacle built in order to get some well-earned training. The question now is, will that training pay off? And will Atlantic not only be able to defeat this obstacle, but finally break through to get his first Stage 1 clear? Atlantic. His performances have been more chump than champ on this course, but we know just how good a jumper he is. We just have to look. There's a lot of different courses, but I mean, just to pick one out, you just have to look at his performances on Rogues, Spartan, Sasuke to know just how good a competitor this guy is. It really just has been the fine margin so far. The jumping spider, he's not put the work into it, as he goes for the shortcut on the circle hammer, but he has put the hard work in to beat that obstacle today. It's just a case of, can he beat it? And then can he finish the job off the way he couldn't do it in tournaments 18 and 19 when he did get past the jumping spider? He goes for the stopper on the ball drop and saves himself a bit of time. Now the moment of truth, the jumping spider. Can he defeat it this time? Yes, he can! Atlantic, he's not actually beaten the obstacle yet, so let's just give it a few more seconds. And now he's beaten it. Well done, Atlantic. Okay, now for the half-pipe attack. He gets into it nicely, uses the stopper, went right down the middle of the head slide, used the ramp really nicely there. Now for the warped wall. He's used up so many attempts and failed it on one of his attempts in tournament 18, but he gets up it in one here. Now the slider jump. The 3rd man to reach this obstacle. The other 2 have failed it. Can Atlantic do it? He lands it. He lands on the net. He's going to go over the top. He gets over, and Atlantic, oh my goodness, 35 seconds left. He's got the time. Atlantic, it's been a long time coming, but you know what they say. Good things come to those who wait, and this young man has waited long enough. Atlantic completes Stage 1 for the first time in his career. He gets his first Stage 1 clear on this course. He's had to wait so long. It's taken until his 6th appearance. He ties the record for the longest wait to get a first Stage 1 clear. Duster, Soul, and Takeshi, they all had to wait until their 6th appearance before they got their first Stage 1 clear. But this was the moment right here. The jumping spider, he got into it nicely. He beat it. And to be quite frank, he made every other obstacle look like a piece of cake. He zoomed through the course. He didn't have a single slip up at all. And the slider jump, it took out Phil, it took out Bananarama, but Atlantic became the first competitor to defeat it. And at that point, he probably knew Stage 1 was in the bag. The crowd watching on, Puma and Bubba Ace down there on the spectators platform. They're so happy. Puma knows that feeling of getting your first Stage 1 clear. And up in the mountains is Strafe Helix, another man who just 2 tournaments ago got to celebrate his first Stage 1 clear. But Atlantic, what a moment for him. He can now finally look ahead to Stage 2. Atlantic Champ, for the first time on Ninja Warrior of Halo, has defeated Stage 1. Nice job, Atlantic. Well, after that incredible performance, can our next man replicate it? He is another competitor looking for his first Stage 1 clear. It is Patrilofan 4. This is his 3rd appearance. In the last tournament, he got his revenge on the flying chute that took him out on his debut run, but he then ran out of time, but without even attempting the rope ladder, actually. He failed on the Tarzan jumps. He was the only competitor that beat the flying chute in the last tournament that didn't clear stage 1. The main reason for that was the fact that Petrillo took way too many attempts at the warped wall. That warped wall has caused him a lot of problems on his first 2 appearances. He maybe had a chance of clearing, but he was running out of time in Tournament 20 before failing the flying chute, and then obviously, as we saw there, running out of time. Now Petrillo is looking to put that behind him to get his first stage 1 clear. He saw Atlantic clear. Will that give him confidence? As he's moving through the ball drop nicely and smoothly. Heading for the jumping spider now. He's beaten this on his previous 2 appearances, and he gets into it nicely here. No problems with the jump. As I say, that jump has been made a little bit easier for this tournament. The crowd Puma's back again for another run alongside Snaz. Now going for the half-pipe attack. A short run up, a late jump, but still into the head slide. Look at the clock though, 50 seconds left. Petrillo has not been going at the fastest pace that, well, certainly not as fast as he was going in the last tournament. Now he hits the warped wall. Can he get up this? Not on the first attempt, he was close though. Nor the second, Petrillo! You've got to get up this wall! Petrillo, no! You got to beat this wall! What is going on with Petrillo and the warped wall? It's happened again! It's happening again! Petrillo, he's panicking now. He's taking short run-ups at the warped wall. He's not getting it. He does get it now, but look at the clock, 10 seconds. The klaxon sounds. Petrillo is beaten again by time, by the warped wall. Can he crack the slider jump? He goes low. He gets a safe jump. And he's out of time and fails at the same time. Double fail. Petrillo, 3 appearances. He's made it to at least the 7th obstacle every time and still cannot clear stage 1. That is absolutely brutal. Now we have EZC Frenzy. Imagine trying to say that whilst you're drunk. Another newcomer. Let's see how he fares. 130 seconds and he is off for the sextuple steps. He's out already. That's a massive come down from the last 2 runs. Next up, we have another pink guy looking very nice. It's Team Taurus, the Brit that loves to send in application videos for some reason. This is his 3rd appearance. When we last saw him in Tournament 21, he went out at the warped wall. A nice improvement, having failed the jumping spider on his debut, and he believes this is the tournament he can break through to the 2nd stage. So let's find out if he can do it. As he goes quickly into the circle hammer. Moving through nicely. Moving pretty quickly at the minute. As he goes for the shortcut too early, Taurus! Taurus is out on just the 2nd obstacle. Let's take a look at a replay again here. I think he was trying to go for the shortcut that we've seen from quite a few different competitors so far. But he went too early, didn't get a boost. Lucky that the kill barrier didn't actually kill him, to be honest. And he came up short of the dismount, and Taurus suffers a shock early exit. Who'd have seen that coming? Well, following on from that, we saw the return of Pixel Project, back today for his 9th appearance on the course. Last time we saw him was in Tournament 20. He went out early in that tournament, but did a little better today, getting to the half-pipe attack. Still yet to get a stage 1 clear for Pixel. Then we had Sam, who went out on the first jump. Lordy-doddy, who failed the 4th step on the sextuple steps. Motor managed to get a little further, but jumped way too late on the jumping spider. Garcilaso, who apparently has a YouTube channel, failed the circle hammer. And then we had Halo Forging, who, pretty interesting gamer tag, did really well going for the slow and steady approach, and it worked right up until he ran out of time climbing over the top of the slider jump. And all of that now means we can move on to our next competitor at the start line, a veteran making a rare one-off appearance on this course. Next up, we have the man formerly known as Red Apparition. This longtime fan of the show made his debut all the way back in Tournament 6, and on just his second appearance in Tournament 7, he made it to the second stage, where he went out on the vehicle ramps, finishing in second place in that tournament. He would compete in all of the final 4 Halo Reach tournaments, but since the days of Halo Reach, his appearances have been sporadic. His last 2 appearances have been in Tournament 12 on Halo 4 when he went out on just the 3rd obstacle, and his most recent appearance in Tournament 18, he competed under the gamer tag TMFKSBG Golf 69, very interesting gamer tag, when he went out on just the 2nd obstacle of Stage 1. Now he is back today with a new gamer tag, Sid is Dead, which is way easier to say than the gamer tag he had in Tournament 18. I'm not going to try and repeat it again, for fear of botching it again. But good old Sid, I just will always know him as Red, so I'm just going to call him Red. Red, it's great to see him here, when you think of the likes of back in the old days, Irish, Dom, Duster, these guys that were fans of the show that started competing on it, you have to throw Red Apparition in that category as well. And even though he was a one-hit wonder, that Stage 1 clear in Tournament 7, it's still one of the best one-off success stories, with the fact that he came in second place. Obviously, someone like Rog, as we saw in the last tournament, will tell you what a real breakout success is, but of course Rog is hoping that that is not a one-hit wonder in this tournament. Red is now on the ball drop. He's a little all over the place. He took ages to get onto it. Was he nervous about it? He was right to be nervous. Red goes out on the ball drop. At least he did better than on his last appearance, beating the second obstacle, and it was great to see him. Hopefully, we'll see him back again soon in a not too distant tournament. But now we can move on to our 40th runner. Next up, we have the man known as Fricket. Longtime fans of the show will remember this guy, formerly with the gamer tag Adventure Nacho, when he made his debut all the way back in Tournament 12. Unfortunately, his first appearance did not go according to plan. He then didn't return until Tournament 15, where he looked a lot better, making it to the jump hang. He then took another break before returning for the landmark 20th tournament, where he went out on the pole maze. In the last tournament, he put in more practice than ever before, and it showed as he set himself a personal best, making it to the flying chute. Now he's back today, having put in even more practice, and he believes this is the tournament where he can finally break through to get his first Stage 1 clear 10 tournaments after he first competed. Fricket. What a competitor. What a career he's had so far. 10 tournaments ago he made his debut, and he's taken 2 separate gaps. Now, in this, the landmark 10-year anniversary tournament, he believes he could get his first Stage 1 clear. Let's see if he can do it as he goes quickly into the circle hammer. And he's moving very quickly through it as well. Zooming along. And out the other side. My god, he just beat that in about 15 seconds. And he didn't even use the shortcut. He is a man on a mission today. He said he'd put in the practice, and he is clearly showing it. Look how fast the ball's going, and he's got it in complete control. Now for the jumping spider. He runs down the right-hand side, cuts to the left on the trampoline, and makes it. This is a man who has clearly perfected his technique. But will it result in him getting what he wants? His first Stage 1 clear. Now for the half-pipe attack, he gets into that as well. It's caused a few problems for others. That half-pipe being a bit slippy right now for a few guys, but not for Fricket, as he goes for the warp wall. This caused him a few problems in the last tournament, but he gets up and in one here. Now for the slider jump, his last challenge. He goes into it, he quickly launches, and he falls out of the head slide. What? What has just happened? he fell out of the side of the head slide. He went too fast. It looked like he was going up the pole and then immediately going for the downhill head slides. And he just went too fast. I don't think I've ever seen anyone fall out of a head slide, certainly not like that. He was desperately trying to cling on, and then it just pulled him up and out and away, and all he could do was shoot the head slide in frustration, and frick it, such a promising run has come to an end, and he still cannot succeed. It's 40 attempts now, only one man through. Can our competitors crack the mystery that is the slider jump? That'll be the question for our remaining 60 challengers. The next man at the start line, Soul Reaper, will be hoping he has the answers. Soul is today making his 14th appearance on the course, with his debut coming all the way back in Tournament 2, the first Halo Reach tournament and the first official tournament in this course's history. And he has had success back on the 360, clearing stage 1 4 times and making it to the third stage once in Tournament 12. Soul retired from the course in Tournament 16 before reversing that decision and making a return in Tournament 20. Unfortunately, his 2 appearances since his return have not gone to plan, with early exits on stage 1 both times. So, will Soul have what it takes to turn things around today? Soul, his 14th appearance on the course. Can this be his time to shine and make it back to stage 2? Making his way through the sextuple steps with no problems whatsoever. An obstacle he's tried many times before. But the circle hammer is his first experience of this, just like it is for every other competitor. Soul not had the comeback he would have liked so far. He takes the shortcut off of the circle hammer, now going for the ball drop. Not had the return to Halo 5 that he would have wanted with 2 early exits. But he has put in a decent amount of practice for today's tournament and is feeling reasonably confident. Makes it through and is now heading for the jumping spider. The obstacle he failed in the last tournament, hits the trampoline and gets into the spider nicely. Looks like he's going to improve, put on his personal best on Halo 5, as he now reaches the half-pipe attack, his first time trying this obstacle. It's a tough one, but Soul gets into it just about and slows himself down brilliantly, didn't even need the stopper. This is a great run from Soul onto the warped wall, his first time trying this obstacle since Tournament 16. Can't get up it on the first attempt. Second try, yes, he is up. 50 seconds, he's got plenty of time. But now the slider jump, the obstacle that's been taking out almost everybody. Soul lands on the net. He's going over the top. Soul climbing up. Soul, no! Soul! Oh my goodness. He had it. He had it in his grasp and he lost it. Soul, he was going up the net, climbing over the top. He turned round rather than go for the middle peg. I think he thought that maybe the crowd in the background, his visor locked onto somebody. But you can see just how close he was. If he'd made that jump, he would have had one more jump to go over the top. And then he would have just had the last obstacle. And he had so much time left on the clock. The crowd cannot believe it. It was almost an incredible comeback for this longtime veteran. But instead, it might just be the most heartbreaking fail we've seen so far in this tournament. We now pick things up on the dismount of the circle hammer for our next competitor, Ninja Warrior 718, aka Jante. Back for his 4th appearance on the course, he now takes on the ball drop, an obstacle he did fail in Tournament 20, but he beat it in Tournament 21, on his way to then failing the 3rd obstacle, the swinging pipes. And he's got an interesting technique here, a jumping technique. Is it going to work? Yes, it does. Nicely done by Jante. He's had an interesting record so far. His first 3 appearances, he's failed the 1st obstacle, 2nd obstacle, the 3rd obstacle. Now the jumping spider, and he fails the fourth obstacle. He jumped way too early for the trampoline. And he keeps up this bizarre record he's got of getting one obstacle further each time, which means maybe he'll clear stage 1 in about his 8th or 9th appearance. Now we have a newcomer, Bookcase, ready to take on the course. We saw Irish there in the background for his intro, as he gets off to a little bit of a slow start there with the tank, but he is now off. As I say, good friends with Irish. I think they're part of a community. I'm not sure if it's like the Maniac forums or something, but they're in a group together. They've known each other for quite a while, and now Bookcase is getting into Halo jumping. You may have seen him on Halo Ninja Warrior and on Spartan Sasuke here in Halo 5. Now he's making his debut on this course, and looking pretty good so far. He's also got quite a unique gamer tag with that Bookcase spelling. I believe correct me if I'm wrong here, but I believe the German word for bookcase, I'm pretty sure B-U-C-H is German for book. Oh, and by the way, Smokey, bookcase is all one word, just in case you've been wondering all these years, if that's how you spell the English version of bookcase, or the German version of bookcase, actually, for that matter. I'm talking so much about bookcases, I need to go out to IKEA and buy myself a bookcase now. As Bookcase makes his way through the jumping spider onto the half-pipe attack. A little bit all over the place with his run-up, but he gets into the head slide nicely, and like Soul, slows himself down. Not the fastest run so far, looking at the time, but he is at the warped wall. Takes his time, sets himself up, and gets up it in 1. Now for the slider jump. 35 seconds left on the clock. That's a poor first attempt to get into the slider, costing him a little bit of time. He's up on the second try, though. Going down. Can he land it? Only just. Now be careful of this climb. We saw what happened to Soul. He's going over the top, but look at the time. He's only the second person to beat the slider jump. But does he have enough time left to finish this stage? 10 seconds. The klaxon sounds. I'm not sure if he's going to have enough time to finish here. Bookcase, he's got to go for it. Is he going to make it? I'm not sure. Bookcase! Yes! Bookcase! He's done it! With just 1/10 of a second left on the clock. It looked like he wasn't going to do it, but he did do it, and he doesn't even know that he's done it. Bookcase, this was a run that was full of ups and downs and was all about his speed. He was slow off the start line when the tank fired, but then he was quick through the circle hammer, through the ball drop, got through the jumping spider, saved himself some crucial time here on the half-pipe attack, got up the warped wall in 1, but then lost all of that time he made up by botching the first attempt to get into the slider jump. But on the second try, he got it right, went down the slider and landed just about on the edge. And after that, it was all about a race to the finish. His good buddy Irish watching on. It didn't look like he was going to make it. We all thought he was going to just come up short, but he did make it. And after several long checks, this is the moment when he discovered he had beaten stage 1. Bookcase, the newcomer, Irish, was running all the way back to the start line. He had to run back again to celebrate. And Bookcase, a newcomer, will be moving on to stage 2 in this tournament. What an incredible run. And following on from Bookcase, unfortunately our next group of competitors could not deliver as... Wow. I mean, I don't know how that gamer tag got through the Xbox servers, but yeah, it did apparently, and it didn't last very long because it failed the first jump. And then another great gamer tag, Don't Cry Noobs, with a great exit and failure off the ball drop there. Then another great gamer tag, Mr. Go Harder, that also failed on the ball drop, just slipping off the ball at the end. And then we had newcomer Halo Ninja Master, who certainly for most of this run looked like a master of this course, flying through the obstacles, maybe taking inspiration from wearing Smokey Massacre's helmet. But sadly, he could not get through the slider jump. as he just came up short, slipping off of the ledge. The competitors starting to express a little bit of concern, though, with the wet conditions after Ninja Master's fail. As we move on to another newcomer, Zandito, making his way through the ball drop with nice control, right in the middle of the ball the whole way through there. Onto the jumping spider. Looked like he was going to go right for it, but he does set himself and makes it in comfortably. His way through the inside and onto the half-pipe attack. We saw Bookcase get through this obstacle. Can Zandito do it? He goes right for it, uses the stopper on the head slide, and now goes for the dismount. As he makes his way up to the warped wall, slips slightly. What was that? Zandito! What on earth just happened there? Let's take a look at this on the replay. He was fine with the half pipe, got the into the head slide, slowed himself down, got the dismount, but when he went for the ledge up to the warped wall, he almost slipped off, and then he did slip off. What on earth just happened there? Is that the rain? Did he just get impacted by the rain and slid off the ledge? That was very bizarre from Zandito, and perhaps slightly controversial. Well, our reviewers have had a look at it, and the judges are now out to inspect the course, and it is looking like bad news for the rest of our competitors and the rest of the runners today. They have reviewed that the course is now too wet to continue running. We saw a huge rainfall at the start of the tournament, and it looks like now it is having too much of an impact on our competitors, and the rest of today's runs have been cancelled. Day 2 on the start line here at Mount Midoriyama, and what a difference a day makes. The sun is now shining as it normally does here over the course, and stage 1 has dried out. And that now means normal action can resume for the first competitor here on day 2, Avows the Samurai. Kind of unfortunate, or he is kind of the super unfortunate one, is that he's had to wait longer than anyone now, to start this run. He was obviously going to be the next person to run stage 1, has now had to wait a whole day. But we don't have to worry about any of that shenanigans anymore. Avows is here on the start line. Making his 6th appearance on the course. He's been in every tournament since we moved to the Xbox One. Still looking for that first stage 1 clear though. He makes it through the circle hammer onto the ball drop. He has had a few solid runs so far, making it to the flying chute twice on his debut in tournament 17, and then making it back there in the last tournament. So he's taking his time a little bit here on the ball drop. Not worrying about the time limit yet, but he does get through onto the jumping spider. An obstacle he did fail once in tournament 18. Gets into it nicely. He's never had a problem with this obstacle when there was a trampoline. The version he failed in tournament 18, of course, didn't have the trampoline. Now he's on to the half-pipe attack. Another obstacle he's failed in the past. Saw what happened with Zandito. This will be the perfect example to see that the course is now completely fine. Of course, it's not this part of the obstacle, it's this part of the obstacle. He hops up. Look at the time, though. 35 seconds left as he hits the warped wall. He gets up it in 1, but Avows needs to pick up the pace here. He's been going that little bit too slow throughout the whole run. Taking his time even more on the slider jump. As he launches down, he gets onto the net. He's going to go over the top. He's still taking his time. Avows, less than 15 seconds left. He's through, but we saw how close it was for Bookcase, and Avows is even lower on time. Avows isn't going to do it. He's climbing up the last obstacle as quick as he can, but it's not enough. Time up for Avows. that is gutting. It's a personal best for Avow's, the best he's ever done. The first time he's reached the finish line. But his pace was just that little bit too slow. He didn't have any slip-ups on the warped wall or anything like that. He was just too slow throughout the entire run. Bad luck to Avow's. But now we have another competitor who's got an interesting intro going on right now. Chris shining a light out of Z's buttocks. This is Z-Master, back for his 5th appearance on the course. Another competitor who is chasing that first Stage 1 victory. And like Avow's, actually, he's made it... The best he's managed to do is making it to the flying chute twice in tournaments 17 and also, as we saw, in the last tournament. But there is no flying chute anymore, and even though Avow's just came up short of the finish line, he did set a personal best. Z now hoping to go one further than Avow's. Takes the shortcut out of the slider jump, something that out of the circle hammer, something that Avow's did not do. Makes his way through the ball drop, moving pretty quickly right now. Z is a super talented jumper and a Brit, so naturally I want him to do well on this course. He gets into the jumping spider nicely, quickly making his way into the inside of the spider. Has to take a safe jump there, though. But we're already seeing the difference in pace. 20 seconds up on Avow's time, but for Z-Master. Now for the half-pipe attack. He uses the half-pipe well. An obstacle he has failed in the past, but he beat it in the last tournament, and he beats it again today.
Easy.
Loving this.
Z getting a lot of support from his fellow competitors watching on, telling him it's easy every time he beats an obstacle. He gets up the warped wall in 2. Now for the slider jump. This is the big tester for so many of our competitors. Z lands it. Avow's managed to do it, and it looks like Z's gonna do it as well. Only the 4th person to beat this obstacle so far. And he's got the time as he goes for the final obstacle. With 20 seconds left, Z is gonna do it. He's had to wait 5 appearances, but Z bags his first Stage 1 clear on this course. A brilliant performance from Z, and you know, a perfect side-by-side comparison with where it went wrong for Avow's. Gutting for Avow's, but delight and glory for Z-Master. He went fast where he needed to in the first half of the course, so then he could take that little bit more time to get through the tricky obstacles on the back half. Crucially, getting through this slider jump.
It's almost easy. Yeah, getting closer. Let's go, Z. Let's go.
That was kind of a bit of a... Oh my god.
Oh,
baby.
Yeah.
I like to see. Yeah.
My predictions are on point.
Jeez. Holy shit. And I have to think about stage 2.
Okay, the next person...
Z, well, he might not have had stage 2 on his mind, but he will have to think about it now as he is moving on to stage 2. And at the halfway point, our competitors are turning things around as we now have 3 clears. And actually, just one last quick shout out I'll give to Snaz here. He actually said that run was ZZ, which is kind of quirky. A ZZ run from Z-Master. Oh no. Oh dear, I've just been reminded of that Ninty fail there in the last tournament on the bottom of the screen. Ninty, he had a really good run in the last tournament, and then the half-pipe and... But Ninty is back today. Another person making his 6th appearance on the course, who's been with us for every tournament since the move to the Xbox One. He's managed to get as far as the flying chute once back in tournament 18. As he goes for a quick dismount there on the sextuple steps and almost fell off the side. That would have been the most Ninty fail I've ever seen if that had gone wrong. That would have been quite the come down after getting to the half-pipe attack in the last tournament. You know, his 2nd best performance on this course last time out. Ninty has shown, you know, never gotten close to clearing stage 1, but, you know, occasionally shown a little bit of promise. So he now goes for the ball drop, beaten this several times in the past, but it is been made harder in this tournament. Move to the third obstacle, and we're seeing that as Ninty gets it all wrong with the dismount. I think he thought he was going to lose it and then just panicked. And an earlier exit this time around for Ninty. As we move on to Alex J189. We haven't seen him since Tournament 18, making a surprise return to the course. And joining us, actually, I believe, from Norway is where he's now living. He left us in Tournament 18 to go to uni, and now finds himself living in Norway. But of course, still a Brit at heart. His appearances go all the way back to Tournament 14. He's one of many people that started competing on Halo 4 as a Halo racer. But everyone, of all of the various racers, he became a big part of the jumping community. Competing several times on my course, several times on Smokey's course, and a big part of this channel. If anyone has watched the Classic Gaming Gods episodes, or took part in one of them, you'll know that Alex was actually on that show as well and became team captain. Something that none of you will ever see now, but a fun little piece of trivia. As Alex loses it on the ball drop, he went for it to jump onto the ball, but couldn't hold it. Great to see him though, great to have him back. Following on from that, we had another Halo racer in I'm a So Shift Face, a slight change to his gamer tag there, as he tried to go for a pole vault technique on the ball drop, and it might have worked if he hadn't have hit the superstructure. Then we had newcomer Freedom Wright, who did pretty well to get to the half-pipe attack, but shot out the other side of the head slide. Wolf Ninja, back for his 4th appearance, almost had a disaster at the start of the ball drop, but saved it, moved on, but then unfortunately fell anyway and kept up his unfortunate record of never getting past the 3rd obstacle on this course. Then we had a few newcomers, Diego Kush, who looked like he was going to have the circle hammer beaten, but then failed on the inside of it just as he was coming up to the end. Then we had Paddy O'Fraser, which I think sounds a lot better when you say it with an Irish accent. It's Paddy O'Fraser. He absolutely ballsed it up by shooting the ball. Came up short of the dismount. And then we had CJ Smith, and Hunter's back in the room. CJ Smith, another newcomer. He did really well to get to the wall, but he just did not have the technique. Ran out of time, and his impressive run, came to an end there. Well, the next man stepping up to the start line is a veteran making a comeback, and someone that I did not expect to see return to this course. Returning after a 2-tournament absence is the veteran Master Nuramak. Nuramak made his debut on this course in Tournament 14 and impressed right from the off with his Bumpe Shiratori technique on the jump hack. He managed to clear stage 1 on his debut and almost made it to the 3rd stage. That would prove to be the start of a very promising career, as he cleared stage 1 in all of his first 4 appearances and made it to the 3rd stage 3 tournaments in a row, starting in Tournament 15. In Tournament 16, he came within 1 jump of joining Smokey Massacre on the final stage, but came up just short on the mongoose slide. And even after Smokey's total victory that saw the entire course redesigned, that was still no match for Nuramak, as in Tournament 17, he still managed to make it to the 3rd stage, clearing all of the new obstacles across the first 2 stages before going down at the new cliffhanger. Unfortunately, his promising start then came to an abrupt halt following the move to Halo 5. He competed in both of the first 2 Halo 5 tournaments, but suffered his first Stage 1 failure in Tournament 18, going out on the Jumping Spider. And although he improved in Tournament 19, finishing in 6th place, that was still not enough, as he ran out of time on the Flying Chute. Now, after a 2-tournament absence, he is back, looking to pick up where he left off, and return to Stage 2 for the first time in 5 tournaments. Master Nuramak, one of the big surprises for this tournament. Great to see him after his last appearance in Tournament 19. He admitted coming into this tournament to me that he regrets not competing in the last two tournaments. He was frustrated, stepped away from the course, but on reflection, he wished he had shown up, especially for the landmark 20th tournament, missing out on that. But nevertheless, better to see him back than to never see him at all. Big part of the community, or part of this course, sorry, at the very end of Halo 4. Those great performances we saw, and even on the MCC, as he's flying through the first few obstacles. Now for the jumping spider. Ooh, hello, what's this? I thought he was going to go right for it. This is an interesting technique. He goes for the sort of bumpé technique. Well, he's a man that became known on this course for his unique techniques, and we just saw another one there. He gets through the jumping spider where he failed in tournament 18. He goes right for the half-pipe attack. He beat this in tournament 19, and it looks like he's going to beat this one today in tournament 22. Goes for the dismount. He's moving very quickly right now, giving himself plenty of time for the warped wall. Does he remember how to do this obstacle? Yes, he still does. Now for the slider jump. Going straight into that as well. Can he get this? Going down, going a little bit slowly, and coming up short. Noramak! His great comeback run ends at the slider jump. Let's take a look at this jumping spider again. He got on the stopper in front of the trampoline and then used it to bumpé the obstacle. Very nice. But here on the slider jump, he was going a little bit too slowly down the head slide. And as a result, he came up just short, and Noramak will not return to stage 2. From one veteran to another making a return to this course, getting carried to the start line by Smokey and Snars. Only Paddy could get away with a disrespectful intro like that, using Smokey as a headrest. This is Paddy Freakin, the veteran, back today for his 5th appearance on the course. We didn't see him in the last tournament. We saw him last time in tournament 20 when he failed the half-pipe attack. He's back again today, and he believes that if he can get past that half-pipe today, he will be making a return to stage 2. We saw just how great Paddy can be with that brilliant tournament 18 run when he got all the way to the 3rd stage, going out on the cliffhanger. But that still remains his only stage 1 clear on this course. But as I say, he's confident. Oh, this is going to be an interesting technique. He pole vaults, but he uses the stoppers at the end of the ball drop wisely. As he now goes for the jumping spider. We're seeing right now just how solid Paddy is. He's got a big crowd watching on. We're seeing just how solid Paddy can be. But this is the moment of truth between him and returning to stage 2. Can he get revenge on the half-pipe attack? He doesn't use the half-pipe very much. He gets into the head slide, but he shoots out the other side, and Paddy is out again on the half-pipe. Well, following on from that, we saw a couple more competitors making a return. The great Gordini, Abs legend, who instantly got himself disqualified. You're not allowed to skip steps. And as a result, he went out on the sextuple steps. Not that his run lasted much longer, as he then disqualified himself twice. Then we had Johnny A. Nando, another Abs legend, whose run was just about as short as the average Abs run. Then we had a newcomer, Vulcan, the new Vulcan, who went out at the end of the ball drop. Following that, we had Nightmare Guard, another newcomer, who sadly suffered the same fate, going out on the ball drop, but he got himself disqualified when he landed on the track. But he thought, let's carry on, and then he forgot to jump and fell into the water anyway. Then we had Volcanic Crowd, Taiwan legend, back for his first appearance since tournament 18. Trained by Smokey, he did pretty well getting to the warped wall, but sadly he just didn't have the technique and ran out of time. It's still great to see him back competing today. Then newcomer Spartan Walnut made it into the jumping spider, but then overshot the first jump inside the spider. And then we had 2 runs which were hugely gutting. First was Mighty Max 80, back for his 4th appearance. He overcame the jumping spider where he failed in the last tournament. Then he got past the half-pipe attack, which he failed in Tournament 20, setting a personal best for himself, and it looked like he was on his way to success when he landed the slider jump and then became the first person to go underneath the slider jump. But then, this happened. Absolutely gutting for Mighty Max. But if you thought that was a close call, the next competitor, newcomer Impotent Pat, got even closer. Trained by the veteran Weapon Matt, who was not competing after retiring in the last tournament, he looked like he was on his way, rushing to the finish line, but just coming up short right at the end. He thought he'd beaten the stage just within the time limit, but as we can see, he ran out of time right there. Look, just unbelievably close to the finish line, but coming up probably half a second short, and he is not the second newcomer moving on to stage 2. We can now move on to our next competitor, Daddy Cheese, who's in the middle of his attempt on the ball drop. Formerly known as Cheese's Life, he's now changed his gamer tag to Daddy Cheese for obvious reasons. Those who can't figure it out, I'll let you guys use your imagination. As Cheese gets into the jumping spider nicely. He had a fantastic run in the last tournament. He made it all the way to the flying chute. Easily his best ever performance. Now he's looking to go that little bit further as he goes for his crazy technique on the half pipe. We saw this in the last tournament and he pulls it off again today. Now heading to the warped wall. He's got plenty of time on the clock. He's moving super quickly, but this obstacle cost him in the last tournament. He had to use a few attempts, and he's losing more time here again today. But he gets it on the third try. He's still got time, just under 40 seconds now for the slider jump. Can he crack this obstacle? He goes down the middle! He goes down the middle, and he gets himself disqualified, just like we saw from Phil. He just literally went right down the middle. He wasn't even, attempting to go down the sides. Cheese is out again on the 7th obstacle, and now we have newcomer Joey Davis. One of the hot takes, one of the rising stars for the future. This guy's got a lot of hype around him coming into his newcomer appearance on this course. Can he deliver? No. Oh dear. Oh well, Joey, there's always next time. He's certainly not the first newcomer to have failed the first jump on a course. And now we can move on to Crowned Ferret Irish, who had that horrible run in the last tournament. We're not going to show it, at least not on the small screen. Here we go on the big screen. So he gets to the warped wall, and no, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding, Irish. I'm not that cruel. Yeah, anyone that remembers his warped wall fail, it was probably one of the most painful fails in the whole of the last tournament. And he is stepping up today, determined to just put that run behind him and deliver a solid performance this time around. As Irish goes into the circle hammer quickly, he was a little bit cautious on the first obstacle, and being a little bit cautious here on the circle hammer. Now heading up to the ball drop. He watched his friend Bookcase clear stage 1 earlier. Bookcase still one of only 3 competitors. We haven't seen a clear on stage 1 in a while now. But Irish is looking to change that as he heads for the jumping spider. This is the obstacle he failed on his comeback appearance in Tournament 20. He, of course, he's known as Crown Ferret, but we all call him Irish because that was his gamer tag back on the Halo Reach course. His debut came all the way back in Tournament 3. And after a 13 tournament absence, he returned on Halo 5. He's going for the half-pipe attack. He's got his interesting technique. It worked in the last tournament, and it works again today.
Yes! Yes! There you go. There you go.
Nice.
All right, you got this. You got this.
Irish, you can hear how pumped he is. That was the obstacle he was worried about. He now goes for the warped wall, the scene of his tragedy in the last tournament, and he avoids the tragedy this time around. Now for the slider jump. A lot of people have been struggling with this obstacle, but Irish lands on the net. He's just got to get over the top. Come on, Irish. He's taking his time, but he's made it up. And Irish has got 20 seconds. He's got the time. Oh my goodness. Is this really going to happen? Irish It's been 16 tournaments! It's been almost 8 years! But Crown Ferret, Irish, this is why he came back! He is home! He has done it! Irish, his redemption is complete! Irish 1200, Crown Ferret, 16 tournaments he's been waiting for this moment. He gets his second stage 1 clear. That is what it's all about. He overcame the warped wall where he failed last time, got the slider jump, and the rest is history.
Time?
10 seconds.
All right, there you go.
Come on.
Baby.
Wow. Amazing run. Let's freaking go.
I can't believe I did that.
The longest gap
1 second,
between stage 1 clears.
I'll keep it down. I'm sorry. I got excited.
16 tournaments.
A 16 tournament
Great job.
Keep it down.
Irish.
Sorry.
I'm very relieved. I knew, obviously, last tournament felt like a big wasted opportunity because, you know, it was a stage that I was clearing a lot in practice and then just obviously choked when it mattered, obviously, with the time limit and all that. And as soon as I saw this course, I realized, you know, it's going to be a half-pipe attack or bust course. That's why you got me in front of the half-pipe attack. This was the obstacle where I'm like, if I get this, I'm going to clear this stage. And sure enough, I got it and just took my time, and I kind of just can't believe it. I just wanted to keep my mouth shut, not give any expectations. I'm glad I did that and it worked out. And I won't feel the vehicle ramp, so go me.
Irish's run will go down as one of the greatest comebacks in Halo jumping history. And just like that, Irish is back again. He's ran all the way back to the start line because he's needed for our next competitor, his good friend, and a true ninja.
Well, he is a ninja encyclopedia, and he went back and studied past seasons. Come on. Whoa, and he is through.
So this is Firasukado, or as we more commonly know him, Philip Scott. Ninja Phil, a true ninja, stepping up to this course. This is hugely exciting for me. Obviously, as you saw there, a close friend of Irish's, just like Bookcase actually. Irish is doing a good job getting these rock solid competitors for me. And actually, Philip has a association with this channel and this course way back in the day. If you go and watch some of the old Halo Reach videos on YouTube, you could probably find Philip's YouTube channel, which I think is also called, it's either called Firipu Ninja or Firipu or something like that. You'll find comments that he left on some of those episodes. So he's certainly known about this course for a long time. And now we are finally seeing him step up and compete on it. And he's of course competed on a few other courses on Halo 5 as well. As he makes it through the ball drop, doing pretty good at the moment. Not the fastest, but now he comes onto the jumping spider. It was his nemesis on the real thing. Can he do it on Halo? Yes, he can. He jumped a little bit late there off of the trampoline, but he made it through. Can he make it through the inside? Only then can he officially say he's beaten the jumping spider. It looks like he's going to do it. He's not worrying about the time, he just wants to get as far as possible. Now he takes on the half-pipe attack. He doesn't use much of the half-pipe, gets into the head slide, but falls out of the other side, and Philip Scott's run comes to an end. He at least overcame the jumping spider, his nemesis on the real thing, but like so many others before him, he just didn't have the right technique to get through the half-pipe attack. Now we can move on to another veteran and a long-time competitor on this course, Sane the Legend, making his 12th appearance, looking to bounce back after a very shocking fail in the last tournament when he failed on the inside of the jumping spider. Sane, of course, is Canada's finest. Had plenty of success, you know, obviously, I've said it many times before, that iconic Tournament 15 and Tournament 16 performances when he made it all the way to the third stage. You can see a big crowd here to watch Sane. Look how many people he's got here. Sane clearly draws out a popular crowd as he makes his way quickly through the circle hammer, coming onto the ball drop. I say moving very quickly, actually. Sane's not the sort of guy that normally you associate with speed, and that has sometimes been his downfall in the past, going a little bit too slow on obstacles. And he's going for an interesting technique here to save even more time, jumping for the stopper, not bothering to waste any time with the drops. Now going for the jumping spider, his nemesis from the last time. He goes for a sideways landing. That's the other thing when it comes to Sane. We always see these unique, slightly different techniques from Sane. Sometimes it has contributed to his lack of speed, but he's through the jumping spider this time, and now for the half-pipe attack. He has failed this obstacle once in the past as well. An interesting technique there, stopping on the half-pipe almost to jump into the head slide and not need the stopper. Now he's back at the warped wall. Can he get up this in one? No, he cannot. Can he get it on the second try? Yes, he can. 40 seconds left. Sane's got the time here, but can he crack the slider jump? The bane for many veterans, but Sane lands on it. Now for the climb up. Sane! No! Sane walked off the platform. He'd done the hard bit, and in trying to prep for the climb up, he crouch walked off the platform. That is absolutely tragic. He was trying to make sure he didn't hit his head along the side, and he just ended up... Oh, that is absolutely heartbreaking, and the crowd watching on know it. Oh, Sane.
Nice.
Nice Sane.
Oh.
No!
No! He pulled a me!
For the second tournament in a row, Smokey watches on after a shock Sane fail. That is gutting for Sane. But it does now bring us on to our next competitor and another big-time veteran.
Got the Snaz.
Snaz, you gotta crouch.
What do?
You know, you don't slap me. Turn around. What are you doing?
Let's go, Snaz. Let's go.
Snaz having a little trouble remembering how to get a back slap off of Smokey there. That's quite funny. Snaz is today making his landmark 10th appearance on this course. And to celebrate this milestone, he has been given the same number that he wore on his debut back in Tournament 13. He qualified through the Trials course to compete in Tournament 13, where he went out on the modified jump hang. On his second appearance in Tournament 14, he picked up his first Stage 1 clear, before going out on Stage 2, becoming the first ever competitor to fail the metal spin. Unfortunately, Snaz has been unable to clear Stage 1 since then, going out on the 6th obstacle on both of his final 2 appearances on the 360. And since the move to the Xbox One, Snaz has had a back and forth streak of failures, going out on either the 7th obstacle or the 5th obstacle. In the Bloodbath Tournament 19, he had the 5th best performance across the entire tournament when he failed the dismount of the flying chute. Unfortunately, in Tournament 20, he then failed the half-pipe attack before suffering his 3rd failure on the flying chute in the last tournament. Despite failing Stage 1 in 8 of his first 9 appearances, Snaz is still a fan favourite on this course and across all of Halo jumping, and still has the ability to clear Stage 1 here. Will he have what it takes to step up on his landmark appearance and deliver a Stage 2 run? Snaz. Nobody would want to deny Snaz a place on Stage 2 in any tournament, really, but especially if he could get it today on his landmark 10th appearance. Never missed a tournament since he made his debut in Tournament 13. You know, never missed a tournament on Smokey's course and has got an almost perfect attendance record on Rogs. Snaz is just he's literally just one of those guys in jumping that you just want to root for, and you want him to succeed. You want him to have success, just like with Sane, who ran just before him. Snaz, sometimes it can just come down to the simplest of mistakes, like we saw in the last tournament with Snaz on the flying chute. But hey, there is no more flying chute. He does not have to worry about failing the flying chute for a 4th time. He's got to get past that slider jump, but of course he's got to get to it first. He's doing pretty well at the moment, going reasonably quick, although taking a little bit more time here with this ball drop. It's never an obstacle Snaz has liked and felt entirely comfortable with, but he gets through it just like he always has done. And now heading on to the jumping spider. One of the people that defeated this obstacle in Tournament 19. He jumped a little bit early there. Yeah, one of the people that got through this obstacle in Tournament 19 when it was super difficult. Gets through it again. He's got a perfect record. He's never failed that obstacle in every tournament. Now going for the half-pipe attack. He jumps late and Snaz comes up short! Snaz misses the head slide on the half-pipe attack. And after just giving him great praise for his impeccable record on the jumping spider, he fails the very next obstacle. He got a decent jump, but you can see he was just too far to the side.
Oh, no. How did I fail that? No. Am I really going to do that?
Snaz suffers his 8th Stage 1 fail in a row, and his old nemesis, the half-pipe attack, takes him out for the 2nd time in his career. Following that, the next 3 competitors did not fare any better. First was newcomer Mila Cola, which sounds like something Pitbull would say at the start of one of his songs. Mila Cola. He didn't last very long, going out on the first obstacle at the 5th step. Then we had Decline Clown, who failed the jumping spider, followed by Welsh Wizard, who also got to the jumping spider, but he went too fast and he also came up short. So we are still, despite Irish's success, seeing our newcomers and veterans struggling with this Stage 1. And we have another veteran ready to step up to the course now in Killer the Man. He will be hoping to pick up and continue where he left off in the last tournament. Will he have what it takes? Killer is today making his 8th appearance on this course, having made his debut back in Tournament 15, where he made quite the impression. On his debut, he not only managed to clear the 1st stage, but made it all the way to the 3rd stage before ultimately being defeated by the curtain clear. He then backed that up with a 2nd Stage 1 clear, but just missed out on back-to-back Stage 3 attempts when he ran out of time right at the end of Stage 2. Despite the promising start, the transition to the Xbox One was not kind to Killer. He suffered 4 straight Stage 1 failures, including 3 consecutive failures on the 5th obstacle, with 2 of those being the half-pipe attack. But in the last tournament, Killer bounced back, in producing one of the most memorable moments from Tournament 21. Killer put all his past failings behind him to defeat the obstacles and pick up his first Stage 1 clear on Halo 5, before ultimately falling on the Salmon Lab. But despite going out on Stage 2, Killer showed he could still compete and perform. Now, can he back it up again today? Killer. You know, genuinely, last tournament, I said it just then, but, you know, he wasn't even that confident that he was going to do well at all, even on Stage 1. So the fact that he beat Stage 1, and then to get back to Stage 2 for the first time since the 360 days, it was just a great moment for Killer. And it gave him the opportunity to really bring out that side of him, that love he has for jumping. We of course have seen it a few times on Smokey's course, in some of the more recent tournaments. But Killer, it'd be awesome if Killer could clear Stage 1 again today. Back-to-back clears for him. As he goes quickly into the ball drop there, flies into it. That's the pro strategy. Saving time as well. Being a little bit more careful for these drops. New Zealand's finest looking to step up again as he now goes for the jumping spider right into it and into it nicely. I said actually with Snarz's run, Snarz has a perfect record. Killer has a perfect record. He has beaten this obstacle in every single tournament it has been in since tournament 17. He's one of only 4 competitors. It's a very interesting group of 4, actually. As he now goes for the half-pipe attack. He only just gets into it. You know, he beat it in the last tournament, but he beats it again today, even though it was very touch and go there. Onto the warped wall. Can he get up it in 1? Yes, he can. He's looking really good right now. Now for the slider jump. He goes for this quickly as well. He goes for a lower ledge, and it doesn't work. Killer falls out of the side. And he is out as well.
Too easy, you got this. Oh. Killing it, bro.
Potatoes. There's chicken. No!
No!
That was good.
Dang, dude.
You did so good, brother.
Thing is, I started worrying that I might actually do it, and that's where I started to. That's always where I start to fail.
The slider jump picks off yet another veteran. Killer came close, but it wasn't close enough. And the slider jump continues to cause problems for our competitors. But now we can move on to another veteran making a milestone appearance. Making his 15th appearance on this course is Sakeshi. Sakeshi is only the 6th different competitor to reach 15 appearances, having made his debut all the way back in Tournament 5. Although he struggled initially on the course, he started to show a little bit of promise in Tournament 10, and then in Tournament 11, on his 6th appearance, he had his shining moment in Halo jumping, clearing the first stage to advance to stage 2 for the first and so far only time before he went out on the spider walk. Despite numerous attempts since then, Sakeshi has been unable to return to stage 2, making it to the final obstacle twice, including just running out of time in Tournament 16. He's made 3 appearances since the move to the Xbox One, but hasn't gotten close, going out on the jumping spider twice in Tournament 17 and 19. He then started to have gaps in his appearances, missing the first Halo 5 tournament and the landmark 20th tournament. But we saw him return in the last tournament, where sadly he suffered an even earlier exit, going out on just the 3rd obstacle. But now he is back today for this landmark appearance, hoping to have a strong run. Sakeshi, it would be great if he could have that strong run here in this 15th appearance. One of only 6 people to reach this milestone, and the 5 men that have done it before him are all legends in this course's history with incredible amounts of success. Sakeshi does not have that success, but he is still such a huge part of this course, such a huge fan for so long. And I have nothing but huge respect for him for that level of dedication, and the fact that he always keeps coming back, no matter the disappointment of failure. He's now moving on to the ball drop, pushes the ball to get it rolling. Is he going to go for a pole vault technique? He doesn't sprint! Sakeshi, no! Sakeshi, no! That is not the run we wanted to see. That your 15th appearance, it deserved so much better than that. But Sakeshi suffers another early exit on the 3rd obstacle. And from the 3rd obstacle, we have a 3rd-time veteran. A 3-time veteran, Zekin Yuki, the Japanese wonder star that came out of nowhere. We saw there in the bottom of the screen, he beat stage 1 in the last tournament, and that was a performance on the way to getting all the way to the cliffhanger in stage 3, finishing in 6th place, I believe, in that tournament. One of the massive surprise stories, obviously slightly overshadowed by Rog and Vulcan's success, but still an impressive performance nonetheless, just like we saw from Bananarama. But Bananarama then failed stage 1 here today. Can Yuki avoid that same result? He's certainly looking solid so far, as he goes right for the jumping spider. Jumped a little bit late, but still fine. Now making his way through the inside of the spider, going quickly through that as well. We saw this raw pace in the last tournament. He cleared stage 1 with a comfortable amount of time left. Now going for the half-pipe attack. Slows himself down brilliantly there. Yuki is putting on a solid performance. Ninja comes from Japan, and the Japanese star is showing just how incredible he is, although he is now struggling with the walked wall. That is definitely what you call commentator's curse. Oh, it looked like he was going to get it on the 3rd try. The 4th try, okay, he's got it. 40 seconds, he's still good for time. His pace up to this point has meant he could afford those slip-ups. But can he beat the slider jump? No, he can't! Yuki goes down on the slider jump as well. Zek and Yuki, this obstacle continues to wreak havoc. The stage 3 finalist from the last tournament, just like Bananarama. Yuki was no match for this obstacle. He went quick, he went for speed, but it still wasn't enough. He was just that little bit too far to the side. Didn't land squarely on the platform. And Yuki adds his name to this ever-growing list of failures. 7 at clears, 12 failures now out of 19 on this obstacle. Now we can move on to our next competitor, and there appears to be a little bit of a light show going on right now. With the people hiding in the trees. This is interesting. Someone jumping out, and he didn't make it. That's unfortunate. But fortunately, that guy's not running. It's this guy. This is the Virtues 11, back for his 2nd appearance. He made his debut in the last tournament, going out on the jumping spider. He's a cousin of Killer Demands. He did tell me, but I've already forgotten. That's kind of a big rip. But the Virtues is back again, New Zealand representing. And for the 2nd tournament in a row, Virtues has got a higher number than Killer. It's kind of a little funny in-joke going on right now. He was 1 number higher than Killer in the last tournament, and I believe he's 3 numbers higher than him in this tournament. So he makes his way through the first 2 obstacles pretty quickly onto the ball drop. He beat this in the last tournament. Now, obviously, as the 3rd obstacle, rolling down nicely. Down the 1st drop, down the 2nd drop. Virtues takes a save jump, and it costs him. He falls even earlier than he did last time. Still can't get to that half pipe. He really wanted to try that half pipe, and now he's not gotten there on either of his first 2 attempts. Now it's time for Mumbles, back for his 3rd appearance. He's got quite the appearance record in terms of numbers. He was number 3 on his debut, then he was number 2, now he's 82. And I kind of only gave him this number because he asked for it. Contributing to that record number of returning competitors in this tournament. We've had more returning competitors than newcomers. The first time that's happened since tournament 9. First time it's happened in a 100 competitor tournament as well. But one competitor that did not return for this tournament, that would have been making his 15th appearance, was Ironbug champion. Would have been his 15th consecutive appearance. But Ironbug missed out. First time he's ever missed a tournament since his debut. And that was to the benefit of competitors like Virtues and Mumbles, who got these higher numbers. Mumbles is really taking his time right now, as you've probably seen throughout this run, and from looking at the clock. 30 seconds left as he just decides to go for it on the ball drop and comes up short, lands on the track, and then falls in the water anyway. That's unfortunate. He fails the ball drop again, but that is technically a personal best, because it was only the 2nd obstacle in the last tournament. Next up, we have a newcomer, Fix the Wi-Fi. One of the 48 newcomers in this tournament. Part of the minority, as opposed to the majority with the returning competitors. Wi-Fi, he was actually the last guy to do a run in this tournament. So maybe kind of benefited off of that, hence why he's number 83. As he makes his way onto the circle hammer, this young Brit got through the first obstacle pretty nicely, going around the outside and falls off. Wi-Fi drops out early on stage 1. And sadly, the trend continued for our next group of competitors. Newcomer Plantive Hydra also went out on the circle hammer, although he He just went way too fast. I think he was trying to get back to the spectator platform with how fast he was going. Then we had Nakoto Ditapia. Is that Japanese or is it Italian? I'm not sure, but he failed the jumping spider. Got pretty close. And then we had Longshot Arrow back again. A returning competitor. He failed the half-pipe attack in the last tournament, and sadly failed it once again today. Not quite getting the technique right and missing the head slide. And that now means the sun is starting to set for our final group of competitors. But, of course, this is the second day of filming here on Stage 1 after the rain delays on day 1. So we have plenty of sunlight left for these final group of competitors. As we can now look forward to our next runner, a veteran, hoping to make a comeback after a disappointing set of events in the last tournament. Making a surprise return from injury is Swantron97. Swan has established himself hosting a variety of courses on Halo 5, from Ninja Paradise to Ultimate Warrior and Jump. But of course, his most famous course is his collaboration with UmpDoubleUmp on Abs.
Let's look at this on the fail cam.
Oh
you
my
can
God.
see he gets entirely too much momentum and lands on the track without even getting a chance to touch the ball. Cheese just completely whiffs on the ball, and that is an auto-dowdo for Chizo. All right. On to Irish.
Was he really worth
but actually, let's look at that again in one. Let's just watch him. You see, he has the complete wrong angle on the blue. He comes down. He hits way too far forward on the trampoline.
Swan has competed 4 times on this course, clearing stage 1 twice and making it to the 3rd stage once in tournament 20, going out on the Devil Steps. But in the last tournament, he suffered a painful defeat, picking up an injury and collapsing at the warped wall. Now, against the odds, he's back again today, not fully recovered from the injury. Will he have what it takes to deliver?
He's the best. He's the greatest. He's the best. He's strong. He's the cool.
You're all out of
He's
time.
hard.
I'm not sure if that really helps Swan. A little concert for him pre-run, but it's an interesting musical rendition nonetheless. As Swan does make it through the first obstacle with no distractions onto the circle hammer. Swan didn't think he was going to be able to compete in this tournament, so he hasn't really got any expectations for himself in terms of how he's going to do. He expects to fail stage 1, but it's a question of how far can he get. He's now going for the ball drop, obstacle he's faced several times in the past. Taking his time on it a little bit, going nice and careful. Making sure not to make any mistakes, staying in control, getting to the end and making the dismount nicely. Onto the jumping spider. An obstacle he's never had any trouble with in the past. As he goes for it, hits the trampoline, almost gets too good of a jump. Has to take a save jump there. But he's still surviving. Keep an eye on the clock though, he's down to a minute already. His pace has been not necessarily slow, but cautious at best as he goes for the half-pipe attack. He's failed this in the past, but he gets in the head slide today. Going for the dismount. This is where he snapped his leg in the last tournament. And now for the warped wall where he died. Can he get through this? My money would say yes, because he's got no injury this time, and he does get through it. Only less than 35 seconds. He's got to hurry up now, though. The slider jump. Making his way down the head slide. This has caused so many problems, but Swan gets onto the net. He's taking his time. Come on, Swan, you gotta move. 20 seconds now as he climbs over the top. Takes another save jump. Swan has got a motor if he wants to make it. and it looks like he's not going to make it. He's going too slow. The klaxon sounds for 10 seconds, and he's only just onto the last obstacle, and he's realized his mistake. He's going as fast as he can, but it's not enough. Swan is out of time at the finish line. Right as he was crossing the bridge, the clock hit 0. Swan, he had no expectations to clear, and he almost did clear. His pace throughout the whole run was just that little bit too slow, but if there was one obstacle that finished him off, it was the slider jump. Taking a save jump here, going slow up the net as well, but that save jump at the top and then dropping down here was the final nail in the coffin.
He's got time. He's got time.
Go,
He's gonna
go,
do
go,
it.
go, go, go.
Let's go.
Did I make it? Did I make it?
You did it.
I'm not celebrating it because I haven't heard it clear
I'm
yet.
waiting.
No!
I didn't make it.
I didn't think you did.
By how much? He didn't even fail the warp wall.
I took too much time on the
slider jump.
Hold on,
took
I
a
got
lot of time on it.
I will say this. At least even if he failed, he cleared the stage. He completed the whole stage.
Snaz. Well, every cloud has a silver lining, I suppose. Snaz trying to find the positives. He beats the stage, but Swan did not do it in the time limit and will not be moving on to stage 2. But now we have a man who would love to make it back to stage 2 here today. Making his 16th appearance on the course is Drago is back. Drago is an all-time legend in Halo jumping history, and he made his first appearance on this course in the first Halo Reach tournament back in 2011. Although his career didn't get off to the best of starts, failing stage 1 on both of his first 2 appearances. But when he did get that first taste of success in Tournament 4, that proved to be the springboard he needed. Just 1 tournament later, he produced his best performance, making it to the final stage, although that proved to be one challenge too many for him. He failed the last obstacle on stage 3 in Tournament 6, and it looked like the sky was the limit for Drago. Sadly, his best performance after Tournament 6 came in Tournament 11, when he made it to the cliffhanger, and he failed to challenge or reach the final obstacle of stage 3 after that. Despite Drago's push for total victory fading away as he was surpassed by others, he continued to set records on this course. His final stage 1 clear in Tournament 16 was the 11th clear of his career, an all-time record that has only just been matched by Elite MKB and Smokey Massacre. Drago continued to compete across Halo Reach and Halo 4 before deciding to call it quits in the final Xbox 360 tournament and announced that Tournament 16 would be his retirement run. Despite calling it quits after Tournament 16, the allure of jumping was too much and his retirement lasted just 2 tournaments. Unfortunately, it did not prove to be the great comeback he was hoping for, as he went down on the jumping spider, the first time he'd failed stage 1 since all the way back in Tournament 7. Now, after missing another 2 tournaments, Drago is back today, looking for revenge on stage 1. Will he have what it takes to bounce back? Drago. Great to have him back here today for this 10-year anniversary tournament. Ironically, actually, if he clears stage 1 now, he'll technically extend his own record. He'll be the first to get to 12 stage 1 clears, and then obviously Elite and Smokey will have a chance to tie the record again. So he could technically still keep the record for himself outright, even if it is only for a few runs. Of course, that is dependent on him clearing, and it has been quite a while since we've seen Drago clear stage 1 on any course. Not that anyone would deny him, to be honest. Everyone would love to see Drago clear stage 1. Just a question of, can he deliver? Can his limited amount of time with practice get him through? He's going for a save jump technique on here on the ball drop. Not in complete control, but still gets through. A little bit risky. but he defeats it. Now for the jumping spider. This is what he failed in tournament 19. He gets into it, making his way through the inside. Done better than he did on his last appearance. Just finishing off the job, and he is through. And now onto the half-pipe attack. Can a jumping legend like Drago beat this obstacle? No, he can't! Drago! Drago goes down on the half-pipe attack. He got his revenge on the jumping spider, only to fail the very next obstacle. Drago, his first time attempting the half-pipe, and it ends in defeat. Drago is out.
When you get my age.
At this age.
Dang, this
Well, it sounds like Drago, at the very least, was enjoying himself and enjoyed his run. It was great to have him back, but that wait for a stage 1 clear goes on. This obstacle's taken out so many competitors in the past, and it's claimed one of the greatest of all time. And that now means that this stage 1 drought continues. We still only have 4 clears. At this stage in the last tournament, we had double the number of clears we've had today. Who will break this losing streak? As we move on to our next competitor, what is going on here at the start line? We've got quite the group standing at the start line, have all just been whacked off the platform with a lightning hammer. Who else would have an intro like that but Chris, aka Siren, back for his 6th appearance, still looking for that first stage 1 clear. He's gone out on the half-pipe attack in both of his last 2 appearances. But Chris has definitely shown that he has the talent to beat this stage. It's just been the small margins. He's a man who loves to go fast, and maybe that speed has cost him in the past. But either way, he's looking to see if he can bounce back today. What was that? He landed on the top of the circle hammer, avoided the kill barrier. Did that save him a few seconds? It might have done, as he's going very quickly down the ball drop. Look at that control. Stops at the end just to be sure, and then dismounts. He has failed the jumping spider once in the past. He barely takes a run up and is zooming right now. Look at Chris go. Look at the time. He has destroyed the first half. Now, for the half-pipe attack, he goes right for it. Chris has failed this in the last 2 tournaments. He jumps early, gets into the head slide, and dismounts nicely onto the warped wall. Don't think he's ever really had any struggles with this. He doesn't get it up on the first try. Can he do it on the second try? Yes, he can. Still got 55 seconds. But the slider jump has broken so many runs in this tournament. He goes low on the head slide, but still gets it and flies over the top. Chris is finally going to clear stage 1. There's no way, surely, with this much time left on the clock. Well, if you've got to wait for your first stage 1 clear, why not get it in style? And this has been an incredible performance. 33 seconds left on the clock. What a run from Chris.
Get to the top.
Yeah. Get to the top. Get to the top.
Come on. Get to the top.
Oh, he's so close.
Go to one of the sides.
There you go.
There you go.
That was an incredible performance, and the first man to stand on the top of the finish line tower. Chris with some unique techniques. He was zooming through the course, and he came up just short of the stage 1 clear record by just a couple of tenths. This warped wall fail just cost him the stage 1 speed record. But that did not stop him from beating the whole stage. In the end, that's what matters. He finally got through all of the obstacles. He crushed the entire stage, and he will be moving on to stage 2 for the first time.
Make a one single form line.
Flying so much faster than us.
Ducks.
Oh, Lord. Look at the deaths, dude. Look at all the deaths.
The celebrations there are a sight to behold. Well done to Chris. He gets us back on track. as we move on to competitor number 90, Killer Keen, the last newcomer of the tournament. How will he fare? Can he put on a performance quite like the one we've just seen from Chris? He almost screwed up the very first step. He's taking his time. It looks like we're about to get the exact opposite of the run we just saw from Chris. Understandable, he is a newcomer, wanting to make sure he gets through this first obstacle. By this point, I think Chris had already beaten the second obstacle. But Killer is making his way through. He's onto the last step, goes to the top. Can he get the dismount? Yes, he can! Nice job, Killer. Through the first obstacle. 8 more to go. Now for the circle hammer. This has killed a few newcomers as well. He looks at the head slide, deciding what he wants to do. You got to get in it. Can he get in it? Come on, Killer. Don't be afraid of the head slide. He's in it now. He's going a little bit fast, a little bit fast, a little bit fast. Oh no, Killer! He fell out the other side. He almost saved it, but just a little bit too quick. And that now means we are on to the final 10 competitors. These are all veterans and all-stars that beat Stage 1 in the last tournament. Starting with one of the biggest surprises from the last tournament, Killer Menudo. I'm pretty sure he changed his gamer tag. Did he have that gamer tag in the last tournament? I've forgotten. I don't think he did. I think he's changed his gamer tag. He was called something else in the last tournament. But he is now back today for his third appearance after beating Stage 1 last time out. It was a double success, actually. He won the lottery and ended up getting number 97 in the last tournament, and then made that high number count by beating Stage 1 for his first time. Ultimately going out on the salmon ladder, though. Now he's back today with a slightly lower number, but still a very high number at number 91. As he's going through the ball drop. Little bit all over the place on it. He goes down the first drop, survives. Now the second drop, he's all over the place. Killer! Oh no, Killer! Killer drops out on the ball drop. From Stage 2 to just the third obstacle on Stage 1. That is a huge shocker. But now we can move on to a man who we've seen do this intro many times. It's his signature intro on Halo 5. He is looking to see if he can make a little bit of history with this run. Next up on Stage 1 is the All-Star Elite MKB. Elite is the second most experienced competitor of all time on this course, making his 18th consecutive appearance today, having never missed a tournament since his debut back in Tournament 5. It didn't take long for Elite to get a taste of success, making it to Stage 3 on just his second appearance, and that was the start of a run of success across Halo Reach and Halo 4 that established Elite as arguably the most consistent competitor on the course. So far, he's racked up 11 Stage 1 clears, and he had his personal best in Tournament 15, making it to the cliffhanger. But since Tournament 15, Elite's high standards of consistency have started to drop. In the MCC tournament, he almost joined the very small group of competitors that cleared Stage 1, but ran out of time right at the finish line. He bounced back in the first Halo 5 tournament, getting to Stage 2, but went out on the salmon ladder. In the Bloodbath Tournament 19, he suffered his first and so far only Stage 1 failure, going out on the half-pipe attack. And although he's bounced back in the last 2 tournaments to clear Stage 1 again, both times have produced 2 more salmon ladder fails. Despite his Stage 2 struggles, Elite has continued to show consistency on Stage 1, and now he has his sights set on that Stage 1 clear record, becoming the first man to reach 12 Stage 1 clears. Who will get the record? Who will get to 12 Stage 1 clears? Will it be Elite? Is this the moment he's been waiting for? He's always prided himself on the fact that racing comes first, and even though he has been an incredible jumper on this course, is this the run of destiny for Elite? As he makes his way through the first obstacle very nicely, and is quickly going through the circle hammer. Like Chris, Elite is a competitor that always likes to go fast. That's the racing instinct in him. He shoots the ball. What is this technique? Oh my god, Elite. That was insanely stupid, but he still made it work. I put emphasis on stupid there because he's my good friend and I think I'm entitled to say that. But he still makes his way through. He's going even faster than Chris, actually. He's onto the half-pipe attack. Zooming into this as well, and Elite comes up short! Elite! His run is over! From pure madness with this technique on the ball drop to utter devastation in the space of less than 20 seconds. Elite goes out on the half-pipe attack for the second time, just like we saw from Snaz earlier in the tournament. He jumped too late, he came up short of the head slide, and this half-pipe attack is starting to pick off some of our top competitors. It is starting to do damage. Elite will not be getting his 12 stage 1 clear. But despite Elite's gut-wrenching defeat, there were more top competitors ready to step up and avenge him. First, we saw Gotanks, the Commissioner. He has had a solid start to his Halo 5 career on this course, clearing stage 1 in 3 of the 4 tournaments. And he kept up his impressive streak here again today, getting through all the obstacles with relative ease and doing something that we have almost never seen on any course. Gotanks clocking in with a fast time. 13.4 seconds left on the clock for Gotank.
Let's go, Tank!
Let's go!
Oh my god.
That was
Nice,
the fastest
Tanks.
time ever. Go Tanks.
Hello?
Pew 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 pew.
Yeah, we need
I
you
got
to do
it.
another.
Incredible.
Go Tanks.
Is that good?
We're gonna need you to do another run.
Someone get out
and
the
be a
record
little
books.
and be a little slower.
That's actually Gotanks' second fastest time on this course. His fastest came on his debut run when he cleared stage 1 in tournament 14. Following him, we have a competitor with an even better track record on Halo 5. Flame, who's changed his gamer tag to Flamosaurus, has gone 4 for 4 so far on Halo 5 on stage 1, and he had a bit of a clunky moment here on the slider jump, but he pulled through, and the man, nicknamed the Donkey, made it 5 clears in a row.
Donkey!
Flame joining the others as they both became the first 2 competitors that beat stage 1 in the last tournament to beat stage 1 again today. And this man also beat stage 1 in the last tournament, and we'll be hoping that he can join them. It's Double Ump, back for his 16th appearance, the godfather of Halo jumping, looking to make an improvement on the last tournament. He did get to stage 2, as I say, but he went down on the salmon ladder, which was a step backwards after he made it to the 3rd stage in tournament 20. He's going through the circle hammer, who is actually a little bit nervous about this obstacle, hence why he is taking his time with it, being a little bit more cautious than some of the others. But he's through it and launches himself onto the ball drop, just like we saw Gotanks do. That's the veteran in him. Some of these top competitors can just launch themselves onto obstacles. They know what they're doing. They know their techniques. It's all about can they pull them all off. Zump goes right into the jumping spider, hits the trampoline nicely, and is into it. Not really had too many problems. Got the 1 stage 1 fail here on Halo 5, but apart from that has been looking really good. As he sets up for the half-pipe attack, this has taken out Elite and Drago, but not Ump. Hits the head slide, hits the stopper on the head slide, and gets the dismount. Going for the warped wall. 55 seconds left on the clock. He's going for the same technique that we've seen a couple of others do to get himself in position. Now for the slider jump. He gets on top of the pole. This is an interesting technique. He sets up for it, going down, launches himself to a lower ledge. Interesting technique. Ump is pulling out some different styles here. He's through, and now on to the last obstacle, and it looks like we're going to see Ump clear stage 1 for the 3rd tournament in a row. and this will be his 11th clear of his career. Ump double ump, 18 seconds left on the clock. He ties the stage 1 clear record for at least a few runs, and our top competitors are starting to turn things around. 5 competitors left to go now. Next up, we have DHG Fireball standing on the Sasuke sign. How did he get up there? That's interesting. But he will be confident that he can pick up where he left off from the last tournament. Fireball had a tournament to remember last time out. He made it back to the 3rd stage for his 2nd time and his 1st time since tournament 18, and he produced his personal best, getting past the cliffhanger and making it to the hang climb, where one small little mistake cost him a shot at joining the others on the final stage. Now, he'll be hoping to go 1 stage and 1 step further this time round. Fireball hoping, like Ump, to make it 3 tournaments in a row clearing stage 1. One thing to keep in mind here, every time Fireball has beaten a stage, whether that's stage 1 or stage 2 on this course, he's always got the fastest time. Chris clocked in a 33 seconds, so for Fireball to beat that and keep his record going, he's probably going to need to set a record clear time here on stage 1. He almost got the stage 1 clear record in tournament 20, coming up just short. He's going to need to break it here if he wants to keep up his own personal little streak. It's a funny little stat, actually. As he shoots the ball, that's going to help him save some time as he goes right through it into the jumping spider. Maybe Fireball has got his eyes on that record clear time. He's just up on Chris's time after the first 4 obstacles. He slides down to the half-pipe attack, going right for it. Doesn't get a jump! Fireball is out! He goes down on the half-pipe attack as well. This obstacle is starting to mess around with our competitors. He didn't get a jump. This obstacle claims another top veteran.
The rest of this is good.
I didn't get a jump at all.
We have to hear from Fireball after this shocking early exit.
A lot of things went wrong. I think I rushed it because it just went too fast. Tried to do something, didn't get a jump. Wasn't taking my time, wasn't thinking straight, and made a mistake. Man, it sucks. I mean, putting all that practice in just to fail stage 1, you know, that's always the worst feeling ever. Failing stage 1. My goal is always stage 3. Definitely coming next tournament, a lot more prepared, putting in more practice. I mean, I want to get back to stage 3, do good, even get to the final. But definitely coming in stronger next tournament, and hopefully for a good result.
Fireball setting himself the target for next time, but look at that, 15 failures now on this obstacle. It took out 16 competitors in tournament 20, and now the halfpipe has had another resurgence here today in this tournament. Well, after Fireball's shocking failure, can our next competitor, number 97, get us back on track? Stepping up next is the veteran Alpha Puma. After making it to the final jump on stage 3 in tournament 20, Puma took a small but in his eyes significant step backwards in the last tournament. He went out on the cliffhanger, which was still an impressive run, keeping up Puma's impressive streak of success on Halo 5. But his goal is to make it to the final stage, and he believes he has to erase that result from his memories. With that in mind, he is prepared more than ever to make sure that this tournament is the one where he will finally make it to the final stage tower. Is this the start of Puma's record-breaking campaign? Puma starting his 8th campaign on this course. 130 seconds for him to get through another stage 1. His 6th stage 1 clear if he can pull it off, and his 5th in a row. He has been pretty much near perfect on stage 1. Well, he has been perfect in terms of clearing stage 1, but I don't think he's really had any close calls at all on any of the Halo 5 Stage 1s so far. Obviously, as we've seen, got to Stage 3 multiple times, obviously the exception being that first obstacle fail on Stage 2 in Tournament 18. But Puma is a man who just knows what he has to do. Each obstacle, he's got a technique. Each obstacle, he knows whether it's going to be a difficult one or one that he's going to be confident he can get through. This half-pipe attack has been causing lots of problems. This will probably be one that he's got his eye on, considering the others that have failed it, but Puma's never failed it, and he's going to keep up that record here today. Making his way up to the warped wall. We've been spending so much of this tournament talking about the slider jump, but that half-pipe attack has been causing problems too. Now for the slider jump, he takes a moment to set up, runs right into it, straight into the head slide, sliding quickly down, and he also goes for a lower ledge. We've seen barely anyone go underneath the whole tournament, and then for some reason the top guys are all being cheeky chappies and going underneath. It's very interesting. So, do they know something we don't? Maybe that's why we've seen so many failures. Everyone's been going over the top. Maybe they should have been going underneath. Who knows? Who cares? Because Puma has cleared Stage 1 for the 5th tournament in a row. His 6th Stage 1 clear overall, and he remains perfect on Halo 5's first stage. 5 out of 5 for the Alpha Puma, as he continues his quest, hoping that this will be the tournament where he can make it to the final stage. And he handled all of the obstacles with no problems whatsoever. Just like I said, set up for each of them, got his techniques spot on, got up the warped wall in one, and even had the confidence to go underneath here on the slider jump. And it all adds up, as usual, to a Stage 1 success for Puma. Will this be the tournament when Puma finally achieves his ultimate goal in Halo jumping and makes it to the final stage on this course? Now we can move on to our 3 heroes from the last tournament, with the first ready and waiting to go at the start line, hoping that this tournament can be just as incredible as the last one was, as Rog quickly gives him a back smack, wishing him good luck. Back today for his 7th appearance on the course is the veteran Strafe Helix. Strafe made his debut on this course in Tournament 15, and although some have experienced instant success on Stage 1, Strafe initially struggled to find his feet. He couldn't get past the 5th obstacle on Stage 1 in any of his first 4 appearances, failing it 3 times. But when he finally did break that phobia in Tournament 20, he was able to get his first Stage 1 success. Although he would go out on Stage 2, it was the foundations he needed for his incredible performance in the last tournament. He made it back to Stage 2 and got to the 3rd stage for his first time on this course, but he then joined a very small list of competitors that have defeated the 3rd stage on their first ever attempt. He got to experience the new final stage tower. Although he had the weakest of the 3 performances on the final stage, it was still a record-breaking performance, the likes of which we have never seen from a Brit before. Now, can he back it up with an equally impressive performance today? Strafe Helix, the first Brit on this course to make it to the final stage. He had a tournament to remember last time out. Could he do the unthinkable and make it to the final stage for a 2nd tournament in a row? He will be hoping to succeed on Mission Impossible and achieve that very accomplishment. But of course, like everyone, it doesn't matter what you achieved in the last tournament. That success is ultimately irrelevant when it comes to stepping up to the start line for the next tournament. Oh my goodness, Strafe. He fell on his bottom there into the gap between the ball and the platform, but he didn't touch the track, so he's fine. That was definitely a bit of improvisation there, getting back onto the ball. He is zooming right now. He is cooking his way through this stage 1. Is he going for the fastest time ever? Strafe is a man who has shown speed on this course and other courses in the past. He's not a serial speedster. He goes fast when he feels confident at going fast, similar to maybe someone like Smokey, for example. Unlike, as opposed to competitors like Chris and Fireball that just always go fast. Look at Strafe go. He's still got 60 seconds and he's in the head slide for the slider jump already. And he's onto it. If he pulls this off, he's got a clear shot for the record time now. The record is 33.2 seconds. Chris came up just short of achieving it, but it looks like Strafe is going to pull it off. As long as he doesn't have any disastrous mistakes, he spring jumps to the top. He's going to do it. Strafe Helix, 37.5 seconds left on the clock. He hasn't just set a new stage 1 clear record. He has absolutely smashed it. That is your new stage 1 clear record. And it has been achieved by Strafe Helix. The finalist from the last tournament has turned up today and he has shown that he means business. He is out to have another tournament to remember, and he's got it off to near enough the perfect start.
Oh
yeah.
Nice job, Vulcan.
So remember when I said I wasn't going to go for the speed record? Like, oh my god. Oh shit.
Wow.
That's gonna get broken. No. Smokey's gonna beat that. Smokey's gonna beat it the next one. Just watch. He's gonna be about 42 seconds left.
So Strafe setting the benchmark for Smokey to try and beat, but for now, the record belongs to him. Strafe Helix moving back onto stage 2, and he's done it in a record-breaking fashion. Well done to Strafe. Before we carry on, let's just pause quickly to have a look at Stage 1's Ninja Killer. The honor in this tournament going to the ball drop. The obstacle, previously the second obstacle on Stage 1, moved to the third obstacle for this tournament. So far, it has managed to take out 17 competitors on this course, whether they be newcomers, returning competitors, and even a handful of veterans have failed this obstacle. Modification from the last tournament, with the dismount platform being made further away, has proven to be significant. Of course, shout out has to be given to the first obstacle, which has taken out 16 competitors, and the half-pipe attack, which, as we saw earlier, has managed to take out 15 competitors. But despite all of that, it is the ball drop that has caused the most damage, even taking out a competitor that made it to stage 2 in the last tournament. Tournament 22's Ninja Killer is the ball drop. Strafe now makes it 10 clears on stage 1, and now he's back at the start line to wish good luck to the man who wished him good luck, hoping that this will be clear number 11. Back for only his 5th appearance is RPG445, or ROG as we know it. ROG is the host of his own major jump course, Spartan Sasuke.
Can he do it? He's only got one obstacle left. Classic sounds. Stars. Yes, he's through.
You put too much Smokey, put all that pressure on me.
Let's go!
ROG made his debut in Tournament 18 and has competed in every Halo 5 tournament. He nearly beat Stage 1 on his debut, just coming up short on the dismount of the flying chute, but then suffered a huge disappointment in Tournament 19, failing the second jump of the first obstacle. That would have broken many a competitor's confidence, but it did not defeat ROG. And just 2 tournaments later, he finally managed to break through to get his first Stage 1 clear. That first Stage 1 clear then produced his first ever Stage 2 clear, and then on the 3rd stage, he produced an incredible run to become the first man to defeat Stage 3 since Smokey Massacre got total victory in Tournament 16. All of that would have been enough to put ROG in the record books for Tournament 21. But then, he came within just 2 jumps of reaching the top of the tower finishing in first place, just coming up short of the almost unlikeliest of total victory successes. Now, after watching so many competitors fight it out on his own course to achieve total victory, he was experiencing it for himself. After that incredible performance, will the weight of expectation be enough for Rog to handle? And can he continue his high in this tournament?
Come on, Rog. I feel like I've
All right,
watched so many. I
get in
feel
the
like
tank,
I'm
Vulcan.
a lucky charm for Rog. I hit a lot of his runs.
Rog's gonna clear, don't worry.
Rog is ready to go, and he's shooting that step that he failed in Tournament 19. It's his first time attempting this obstacle since he failed it in Tournament 19, because obviously we changed it for Tournament 20 and 21, and he's done better than he did in 19. Well done to Rog. That's already one gremlin gone. Z-Master running around in the background there for some reason. Not sure why. Does he not want to watch Rog's run? It's interesting. But Rog, I mean, Stage 4 finalist last time, and across, you know, the big three courses, my course, Smokey's course, and Rog's course, there's been maybe, I don't know, 5 people ever that have got to the final stage in the same tournament where they got their first ever Stage 1 clear, and Rog is one of those 5. It is such an extraordinary small list to get on, to achieve something like that, and for Rog as a host of his own course to have done it, it is the kind of high that you will almost never see for any competitor. It's so great for Rog to pull it off. And I've said all this, and he's already halfway through Stage 1. He's going right into the half-pipe attack. He failed this in 20, and he's failed it again! Rog is out on Stage 1. The finalist, the first place finisher in the last tournament, is out. This half-pipe attack, we've spent all tournament talking about the slider jump, but it's the half-pipe attack that's been doing the damage to our competitors.
Alright, this is what I failed in 20.
Nice.
Ah.
Ooh.
Really not happy right now. I failed this half pipe 2 tournaments ago, and now it's taking me out again. I thought I would have gotten past Stage 1 this tournament, but I couldn't even do that, so a little disappointed, especially coming off of last tournament, but we'll just have to see how I do next tournament.
Rog is gutted. Of course he is. After the highs of the last tournament, you have to feel for him. Here's hoping he can bounce back in the next tournament. But for now, our final runner will be hoping he can avenge Rog. Closing out Stage 1 for the 5th tournament in a row is Smokey Massacre. Smokey is today making his 17th appearance on the course, having made his debut back in Tournament 5. He got a taste of early success on his second appearance in Tournament 6, clearing Stage 1 before going out on the last obstacle of Stage 2. After that success, he did not show up for Tournament 7, the only tournament he's missed since his debut, but he was back for Tournament 8, making today his 15th consecutive tournament he's competed in. Smokey's first standout performance came in Tournament 11, when he finally made it back to Stage 2, and then utterly destroyed the second stage to book his first trip onto the third stage. And since then, Smokey has never looked back, achieving clear streaks, multiple first place finishes, and of course, his total victory, which came in Tournament 16 to become the second Grand Champion on this course. Since becoming Grand Champion, Smokey has continued to lead the way. And in the last tournament, he made it to the final stage for his first time since his total victory, and for a record-breaking 3rd time in his career, cementing himself as arguably the greatest competitor of all time in Ninja Warrior of Halo history. And all of that success on this course is before we've even talked about the fact that Smokey hosts his own major course, Halo Ninja Warrior.
The ultimate glory that awaits on the final stage can only be seen by those who master their focus, precision, and discipline. 8 obstacles stand in the way of these competitors achieving their dreams. which of our final 10 competitors has what it takes to do the seemingly impossible and earn their shot at the final tower? It is time to find out.
Now it's time to find out if Smokey can add yet another record to his resume as he goes after his 12th Stage 1 clear. Drago couldn't do it. Elite couldn't do it. Temporarily tied it. Could Smokey take the Stage 1 clear record, bagging his 12th Stage 1 clear of his entire career here on his 17th appearance? The way his career started, one success early on his second appearance, but that was the exception to the rule, with multiple Stage 1 fails apart from that. To now be in a position to go for his 12th clear in 17 appearances is phenomenal and shows the comeback for Smokey in his career as a whole on this course. But he will be taking it one obstacle at a time. He won't be taking anything for granted, even something like the ball drop, which he's attempted many times in the past. He will have his mind fully focused on the obstacle he is on. Now that focus turns to the jumping spider. This is the one obstacle that has defeated him on Halo 5 in Tournament 19. But it's no trouble for him today. Time for the half-pipe attack. He's gonna go right for it. Smokey! Rog failed it, but Smokey gets it. 16 failures on that obstacle. Smokey will not make it 17. So the ball drop is officially the Ninja Killer. So thanks, Smokey. He's onto the warped wall. Can he get up it in 1? No, he can't. Can he get up it in 2? He goes right for it and he gets it. Now for the slider jump. It's caused so much damage earlier in the tournament, but now it's gone quiet. Could it claim Smokey? He goes right for the bottom ledge. That is a crazy technique, but he pulled it off. Smokey, he's not going to take the speed record back. That belongs to Strafe. But he's about to get another record. If you look through the past at all the records in the history books, they belong to Ree and Drago. But Smokey has been claiming them one by one. And now he takes one of the biggest records of them all. His 12th Stage 1 clear of his career. He now has more Stage 1 clears than any other competitor in this course's history. Smokey Massacre, the reigning champion, delivers yet again. There wasn't a single obstacle that was going to hold him back. He got his revenge for Rog on the half-pipe, and this technique on the slider jump, we've seen people go low. Smokey went very low here, going for the bottom ledge, but he pulled it off. And from there, it was smooth sailing to the finish line.
Of course.
Oh my god.
Smokey!
What's up, guys?
Nice run. This has got to be a course record. Surely.
No, he failed the warp wall one.
Yeah, that warp wall. What is that'd be? Yeah. I did not think so. I was not, bro. I was thinking it so that whole run.
Everyone was focused on the speed record. They forgot about the other record. Smokey now has the Stage 1 clear record, and the celebrations have well and truly begun.
If we keep punching his arms and legs, like, he's not gonna have. He's gonna be pretty bruised up for Stage 2.
Let's go, Smokey! I said I was doing this.
This is gonna be a gruesome.
That's how you wish someone good luck for Stage 2.
Please stop the pain.
I've seen worse from Patty by himself.
So Strafe Helix came in with the fastest time and a record-breaking clear time on Stage 1, and he will be joined by Chris, Flamosaurus, Smokey Massacre, Alpha Puma, Atlantic Champ, Double Ump, Z-Master, Gotenks, Irish, and the newcomer Bookcase. But now, these 11 survivors will face the twists and turns of the second stage. The first two obstacles of Stage 2 are a familiar sight, but after that there is all change. The landing platform for the stick slider has been made a lot smaller, whilst the pegs on the metal spin have also been reduced in size, requiring precision. There are also 2 new obstacles in the skywalk and the wall lift, and an unchanged time limit of 65 seconds means our survivors will have to keep moving if they want to reach the finish line on time. So let's head down to the sidelines to see how some of our competitors are feeling.
I'm excited. With this stage 1 clear, I have cleared every stage 1 on a course that matters in Halo 5. So that's pretty exciting. I haven't practiced stage 2 obstacles very much, so this might be an issue, but the obstacles seem very easy. It really just comes down to time in the end.
I'm pretty excited. It was definitely a close run on that first stage. Just looking forward to being able to attempt this.
I'm feeling wonderful. I'm really happy that I managed to clear stage 1. It feels like it's about time that I made it. And I just hope I can do a respectable effort on stage 2.
Well, I gotta say I'm very happy to be here, but it will become very evident that I've done almost no practice for stage 2. I was so focused on beating stage 1 this time, so obviously I'm not very confident, but I'm just so happy to be back, and you know, I'll give myself something to build on for next time. So.
Oh, these right here, boy. These are my boys, yo. The ones who are motivating me to get further, man. I'm trying to get to stage 3 with all my boys. Yeah. If I go, the whole squad goes. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you know, I think after failing a few times, I think I do have what it takes to turn it around and hopefully get to stage 3 this time.
12th time on stage 2, I'm pretty excited. I feel like, you know, there was obviously that one point in my career where I was very dominant on stage 2, and I don't think I was really worried about it, but it's crazy how much that Tournament 18 salmon ladder failure still haunts me to this day. So I'm going to be looking at that salmon ladder, and, you know, the rest of the stage is definitely a little more difficult than last time, in my opinion. So hopefully keep my luck, keep my focus, and get through the stage.
The sun has set and nightfall has arrived here over Mount Midoriya. Day 2 of filming saw blue skies, but an equally shocking amount of failures. Our Sweet 16 from the last tournament have been reduced to an electrifying 11 still standing for stage 2 tonight. Although a record-breaking 3 competitors reached the final stage in the last tournament, will we see similar success after the brutality of stage 1? Will the changes made to the second stage produce more disappointing defeats? Let's find out as our first competitor makes his way to the start line, and he is the first of 4 challengers taking on stage 2 for his first time on this course. A man who has had to wait a long time to finally get a taste of what it feels like to be on stage 2. The jumping spider was beaten. It's Atlantic Champ. He is the host of his own course, Halo Sasuke. You should definitely go check it out. I hear it's quite good. But Atlantic finally made it to the second stage. Let's see how he's going to do. 65 seconds to beat 6 obstacles, and he makes his way through the downhill jump nicely. Now for his first real test, the salmon ladder. This obstacle has taken out 15 competitors so far in its time, but Atlantic is making light work of the salmon ladder. Look at him go! He's up it perfectly and onto the stick slider. This platform has been made smaller. You've got to time your dismount, which he does very nicely. Atlantic onto the new obstacle, the skywalk. It's like the cliffhanger, but a little bit easier. That ledge is not quite as thin as a normal cliffhanger, and he makes light work of it. Onto the metal spin. These columns are very thin. You've got to time your safe jump just right and get the dismount right. He's got 18 seconds for the wall left. New obstacle. Got to lift up the walls using the mongoose. Each wall gets heavier and heavier, and he's finding it tough. This third wall, but he gets underneath. The klaxon sounds, but Atlantic Champ beats stage 2 with 6.8 seconds left on the clock. his first time on stage 2. He's had to wait a long time to finally get a taste of the second stage, but he takes his chance perfectly. Atlantic, he said he was feeling quite confident with the obstacles. It was all about the time, and he delivered.
Time.
Don't break the wall.
You got plenty.
You're good.
Yes!
You're good.
Yeah!
Oh my god, that was the biggest squeeze ever.
The big squeeze! And that is the
so
fastest
close.
time of the tournament.
It's the only time of the tournament, Puma. Atlantic, first man up, first man through, and he is moving on to the third stage. Well done to Atlantic. Atlantic gives us the perfect start to the second stage. Can we keep it up with our next competitor? He is the only newcomer still standing here in Tournament 22. This is Bookcase. Kind of come out of nowhere. He looked pretty impressive in practice. He just about beat the time limit. Now we're going to see if he can beat the time again here on stage 2 as he glides through the downhill jump very nicely. The salmon ladder, though, no newcomer has ever beaten this obstacle. It hasn't had many people attempt this obstacle, not many newcomers, but Bookcase has got a technique here. He's going very slowly up to the edge. Now picking up the pace a little bit, or maybe just on that one jump, but this is the hardest jump of them all. Can he get it? Yes, he can! Bookcase is up to the top. He's only got 30 seconds left, though. He's got to start thinking about the time. He's got to get moving. Stick slider. He drops down, but he gets it wrong. Bookcase is out on the stick slider, and that is our first taste of why this obstacle is more difficult. All about the timing, and he timed it too late and overshot the dismount platform. Bookcase is beaten. His newcomer debut ends on stage 2, but he has just delivered a piece of history. The first newcomer to beat the salmon ladder, and that's the best newcomer performance out of anyone since we moved to the Xbox One. What a great newcomer performance from Bookcase. But now we can move on to our next competitor taking on stage 2 for his first time on this course. The next man stepping up is Z-Master. Another plucky Brit, Z is today making his 5th appearance on the course, making his debut back in Tournament 17 where he did well on his newcomer debut, failing the flying chute on the MCC. Unfortunately, he then followed that up with a second obstacle fail in the first Halo 5 tournament. He missed Tournament 19 but came back for Tournament 20 where he got a little further going out on the half-pipe attack, and then in the last tournament he looked like he was on his way to stage 2 only to fail the flying chute again. Now, at the 5th time of asking, Z has managed to put it all together to deliver his first stage 1 clear on this course. Z-Master. His 5th appearance, his first time on stage 2. Didn't have to wait as long as Atlantic did, albeit obviously that was his own fault because he missed Tournament 19. But it's great to see Z finally make it to this stage. It's been a good upturn in form. Got his first stage 1 clear on Rog's course, got back on form on Smokey's course, and now he's here on stage 2 on this course. Let's see how he's going to do! Z! No way! Z is out on the first obstacle of stage 2. Joy turns to misery in the space of 5 seconds. All that work to finally clear stage 1 has been for nothing! Z is out in an instant on stage 2.
Oh, you're kidding me. Yeah, I jumped too late.
The crowd is gutted for Z. I'm gutted for Z. He is beaten. That is going to sting. That is truly gutting for Z. But we can now move on to our next competitor who's got a small group waiting for him.
What are we doing?
We're gonna
Backslap.
Can't just 3 backslap. He's gonna die.
Well, I would be very gutted if Irish has had to wait this long to get back to stage 2 and then dies from his fellow competitors punching him to death. But this is a run we have been waiting a long time to see. Next up on stage 2, we have Crown Ferret 19, aka Irish. Irish is now the host of his own jump course, aptly named Irish Warrior.
Hello and welcome to the first tournament of Irish Warrior. And he's sending the minefield. Oh my goodness, what a great time save. Hunter unit, keep going. 6 seconds left. He's coming to the final turn with 3 seconds. He's got to jump up and hit the buzzer. Hunter unit keeps the tournament alive.
This is a run that we have been waiting 16 tournaments to see. Irish back on stage 2 for the first time since his 4th appearance all the way back in Tournament 6 on Halo Reach. On that attempt, he came so close to joining the 7 others that moved on to the 3rd stage, but came up just short on the finish line. Now, 16 tournaments and almost 8 years later, he is back. You know that I'm definitely one for stats, and I've got a couple here that will just show how mind-boggling this gap has been. Smokey and Ump, who've also been to Stage 2 for their first times alongside Irish in Tournament 6, they've racked up 23 Stage 1 clears since Irish last cleared, and there have been 164 Stage 1 clears between Irish's 2 clears on this course. That is truly insane stuff, in my opinion, and it's just amazing. Amazing to see Irish back here on stage 2. He's got through the downhill jump, which took out Z! Irish is having trouble here on the salmon ladder. He's really taking his time. He's clearly worried about this obstacle. He's made it up the first jump again. He's done it twice now. He goes for the second jump. He bounces off, and Irish is beaten by the salmon ladder. No shame in failing that obstacle. It's taken out so many people in the past. But Irish's great comeback tournament is finally over. As we can now move on to our next competitor, who somehow got himself into the kill ball above the stage 2 start line. And what is going on with Chris's head? Look at his head! What's going on with his head right now? Another classic Chris intro. Now it's time for our last first-time runner to go here on the second stage. Like Atlantic Champ earlier, Chris has today matched the record for taking the most amount of appearances to get his first Stage 1 clear. Today, making his 6th appearance, he made his debut on the MCC tournament, Tournament 17, where he performed very well on the Trials course and came up just short on Stage 1, falling at the flying chute, something he then repeated again on his 2nd appearance in Tournament 18. In Tournament 19, he was one of many that failed the jumping spider, but in both of the last 2 tournaments, he was able to get past the jumping spider, only to fail the next obstacle, the half-pipe attack. Now, after 5 Stage 1 failures in a row, Chris managed to put it all together and deliver a run that was fantastic, as it was flamboyant. Now, can he keep that going and get past Stage 2 as well? We have quite the crowd watching on here for Chris's run. We saw it in his interview. His homies, his posse, his boys, his whatever other word you wanna use. Competitors that have already been eliminated on Stage 1 and Stage 2, and competitors that are still yet to run, all here watching Chris. The last of our first-time competitors taking on Stage 2 as he throws himself into the downhill jump. Atlantic is the only one of the first-timers that's beat Stage 2 so far. Can Chris join him? He's spring jumping his way up the salmon ladder. He's zooming. He doesn't get it on the first go, but he gets the last jump on the second try. Now he's got to slow down for the stick slider. Don't go too fast, Chris! Oh, very nice stuff. He landed that perfectly. Onto the skywalk. Is he going to zoom through this as well? Chris almost got the stage 1 speed record on stage 1. He's surprisingly taking his time a little bit there on the dismount of the skywalk. He drops down for the metal spin. Gotta get the drop down just right. That's the modification that's been made to that obstacle. And now he's onto the wall lift. He's zooming through this as well. He's honking. He knows he's going to do it. Is he going to beat the klaxon as well? Chris! No, he doesn't. He just misses out. 9.6 seconds. He kind of got into a bit of a tangle there. Right at the finish line, dismounting as everybody throws themselves into the water again, just like we saw on stage 1. Chris, that was a truly dominant performance on stage 2. His breakout performance continues alongside Atlantic champ into the 3rd stage. He was looking so good on this stage. The only time where he really took his time was on the dismount here of the skywalk. Everything else was near enough full throttle, full pace, and no holds bar. Chris, with the fastest time so far, is the 2nd man moving on to the 3rd stage.
Alright, see if I can
9 seconds? 9 seconds?
Let's go, baby!
I have absolutely no idea what Smokey just said then that got everyone laughing, but this group can look forward to watching another Chris run on stage 3. Now we can move on to all of the competitors that managed to beat stage 1 in the last tournament that have made it back here again today in this tournament, starting with Gotenks. This is Gotenks' 6th time on stage 2, and this is the 4th time in 5 Halo 5 tournaments that he has made it to the 2nd stage. He has yet to get past this stage though on Halo 5, as Gotenks almost suffers a shocking early exit on the downhill jump. Onto the salmon ladder though. He's failed the stick slider twice before and then finally got past it in the last tournament only to fail the swing ladder. But the swing ladder is now gone. Is this Gotenks' chance to finally clear stage 2? He hasn't been to stage 3 since tournament 16 and he's not gonna get there again today! Gotenks goes out on the salmon ladder, an obstacle he has beaten every time he's attempted it before. Until today, his first time failing it. Now, it's time for our next competitor who has an even better record than Gotenks at getting to this stage. It's Flameosaurus, formerly known as Flame Vortex. This is his 5th tournament in a row, making it to stage 2. He is 5 for 5 on stage 1 here on Halo 5. Unfortunately though, he has also got a pretty rotten record on stage 2. He's only beaten this stage once on Halo 5, that was in tournament 20, and as we saw he failed the stick slider in the last tournament, and he was seriously worried about the stick slider again today with the modification to make it even harder. Let's see if he can get past it. He's taking his time, not rushing, going down. He comes up short! He dismounts too early! And Flame fails the stick slider for the 2nd tournament in a row. Stage 2 is wiping our competitors out. 7 attempts, only 2 clears, and 4 competitors left to go. And our next man, like the previous 2, has a score to settle with this 2nd stage. And is looking for revenge. Double Ump has attempted stage 2 10 times previously across his career, and whilst he has largely tasted success, his stage 2 failures have been interesting. His first failure came in tournament 7 with a rather unique one-of-a-kind failure falling off the side of the vehicle ramps. His second failure didn't come until all the way in tournament 16, the final Xbox 360 tournament, when he slipped up on the metal spin. And his most recent stage 2 failure came in the last tournament when his spring jump technique on the salmon ladder did not go to plan. Now he is looking to bounce back from that failure and add another stage 2 clear to his resume. Double Ump, his 11th time taking on Stage 2. Level with Re95 and Elite, and only Smokey has made it to this stage more times than Ump. Can he get his revenge and rack up another Stage 3 attempt on this course? It's time for revenge. It's the Salmon Ladder. Irish has failed this. Gotanks, out of nowhere, failed this. Ump is committing to his spring jump technique, which brought him down in the last tournament, but it won't beat him this time. He's through and onto the stick slider. This has already taken out 2 competitors. Don't underestimate it, and Ump hasn't. Fun fact, stick slider's actually taken out at least 1 competitor in every tournament on Halo 5. Ump's got an interesting technique here on the skywalk. That saved a lot of time. Onto the metal spin, an obstacle he's familiar with. He's failed this obstacle before as well. Gets the save jump though, and gets the huge dismount. 15 seconds. He's got less time than the others had for the wall lift. Oh, he's having trouble with that second wall. He's going to have more trouble with the third wall, but he squeezes underneath. And Double Ump beats Stage 2, 5.7 seconds. He books another trip to the 3rd stage, and he gets his revenge on Stage 2. Him and his fiery arse are going back to the 3rd stage, and his success saw a turn of the tides for our competitors, as Alpha Puma had a bit of a shaky run overall. He was a bit all over the place on the skateboard, on the downhill jump. He then got an accidental spring jump on the stick slider. Almost dismounted too early. He took a double save jump on the middle spin, but despite all of those wobbly moments, he still pulled through to make it to the 3rd stage for the 4th tournament in a row. And after him, Puma was back supporting the next competitor, Strafe Helix, the Stage 4 finalist from the last tournament, who got the Stage 1 speed record in this tournament, and he was determined to make sure that his tournament continued. He spring jumped his way through the salmon ladder and had an interesting technique to get onto that last wall on the wall lift, and he cleared with 7.5 seconds left on the clock to make it 5 competitors through to the 3rd stage. Can this last man make it 6? This is a man who knows the challenges that await him here on Stage 2, because he has now attempted this stage more times than any other competitor. Smokey Massacre, the first man to attempt Stage 2 for the 12th time. Can he get through this stage and make it to the 3rd stage for the 10th time? And that would tie a record as well. That would tie Re95's record for most Stage 2 clears. Re also on 10, getting his last one in Tournament 16, as Smokey taking his time a little bit on the salmon ladder. He was very shaky at the start on that first jump, but he gets through it. Onto the stick slider. Smokey! Oh my goodness! He almost dismounted too late there, but a crucial save jump saves his bacon. He's quickly through the skywalk, onto the metal spin. He's almost home and dry, gets the save jump. That was a bit of a late save jump, but he's got 19 seconds. He should be home and dry now, but it has not been smooth sailing. Under the second wall. Wow, Smokey! He almost flipped off the mongoose. That would have been disqualification. But Smokey survives it. 5.4 seconds left on the clock. His 10th Stage 2 clear. But that might have just been the dodgiest Stage 2 run we've ever seen from Smokey on this course.
This is the easiest salmon ladder.
I had a lot of stressful moments. I was freaking out on the salmon ladder just because I have to.
Well, you know how.
And then I really thought I failed the 3rd obstacle.
You literally did the salmon ladder different than every practice I watched. I don't think you spring jumped it at all, did you?
I didn't do any spring there, no.
Well, it wasn't pretty, but Smokey's moving on once again. So just as we saw in Tournament 20, it was the first half of the 2nd stage that did the damage to our competitors. Everyone who reached the 2nd half managed to successfully reach the finish line of Stage 2. Now, our 11 survivors have become 6. It was Chris who topped the leaderboard on Stage 2, finishing ahead of Alpha Puma, then Strafe Helix, Atlantic Champ, Double Ump, and a very rare sight on Stage 2, Smokey coming in with the slowest time. But our competitors will have no time to rest, as they must now face their next challenge, the third stage. After a record 3 competitors beat this stage in the last tournament, the obstacles have had quite the makeover. 6 of the 8 obstacles, to be exact, have been modified to be more difficult than they were in the last tournament, as well as a completely new obstacle to go along with it. There is no time limit on the third stage, and the only limit for our competitors is how long they can last on the obstacles. And just like that, we have made it to the third stage. 100 competitors arrived at the start of Tournament 22. Now, only 6 men are still standing. A triple pair, all with different stories. 2 competitors who got their first taste of success in this tournament. 2 longtime veterans hoping this will be the day they break through on stage 3. And 2 finalists who beat this stage in the last tournament. Can anyone defeat this stage again today? The first man hoping to do so is once again Atlantic Champ.
I feel great. I've gone to every stage 3 in the courses that matter in Halo 5 now, because I did in Abs and Smokies and Rogs and this one now. So I feel great. I get to play on one of my own obstacles too, which is really neat. Yeah, I feel pretty good.
Atlantic, the first man up on stage 3 here in Tournament 22. He will be the first man subjected to this revamped third stage, starting with the propeller bars, the first of 8 obstacles. As you're about to discover, there are now more bars to jump across, and from the second one onwards, they reduce in height but are increased in distance, which means these jumps are pretty darn precise. They were pretty darn precise with the old version in the last tournament, but now it is even tougher, and Atlantic is not taking any chances. A lot of save jumps, and he gets through it, and now onto the new obstacle, the Atom Slicer. Of course, based off of his own obstacle on Halo Sasuke, which you should go and check out, by the way. It's a good tournament, great tournament. I've heard good things about it. Go message Atlantic Champ. Anyway, plug over. Atlantic punching the slicer to get it onto the track, and now you've got to survive the rolls. It will roll 3 times before it reaches the end. Although Atlantic has got it rolling very slowly at the minute, nicely in control as it starts to pick up pace now, but he once again slows it down nicely. This is a good technique. We shouldn't be surprised. This is Atlantic's own obstacle. If there's one man who will be confident, more confident than anyone else on this obstacle, then it is Atlantic. And he gets through the Atom Slicer, making his way up to the Devil Steps, the only obstacle on stage 3 that remains exactly the same as it was in the last tournament. Of course, none of that matters to Atlantic because this is all new to him. As he makes his way up to the top, now the easy transfer across, and then the not so easy descent back down. Nobody's ever failed this descent, but it is tricky. Especially this final one, but he gets it. Now for the cliffhanger. Atlantic is particularly worried about this. He does not have a good record with cliffhangers on many courses. And this took out... It has taken out many competitors in the past. It beat 2 competitors in the last tournament. Atlantic goes through it. He gets the save jump, a late save jump, but Atlantic Champ defeats the cliffhanger. His breakout tournament will continue into the back half of the third stage. This is phenomenal stuff from the champ, who is performing like a champ. Onto the jumping bars. He misses the first jump. Atlantic, from glory to defeat in about, what, 10-15 seconds? He gets past the cliffhanger only to fail the very next jump. He becomes the first competitor since Phil in Tournament 16 to fail this obstacle. It has been made a lot tougher this time around, but Atlantic was not expecting to fail there, surely.
Actually, no, it's the regular Jump Academy. Oh. There you go.
Oh my
Atlantic.
God.
Come on.
Oh,
Let's
yes!
go.
Yes! Let's freaking go.
Let's go, Atlantic.
Let's go.
This is my moment.
Alright.
Yeah.
Alright,
Yeah,
sprint.
Before you killed
Sprint.
Nifty.
Yeah, I didn't have that one. Yeah,
That's death
that was a
right
bigger jump than I thought. We don't need to re-record anything.
Oh man, that was good. That was a good run.
That was a good run.
Sweet Jesus.
That was a good run, Atlantic.
Well, I think all of the crowd are agreed that was a good run from Atlantic Champ. An incredible breakout performance for him that has finally come to an end.
Man, you know, I feel superior, as you can see, man. The Plasma Pistol King has made it with his boys, of course. They coming with me all day, every day. You already know. Yeah.
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 All right.
Yeah.
Oh my lord.
What is that? Oh wait,
That intro did not go according to plan, but we managed to fish Chris out of the pond from number 29 to 89. Quite the jump in numbers there. Chris, the last of our first-time successors in this tournament, still standing. Can he get as far as Atlantic did? He's full sending his way through the propeller bars. This is risky, but he makes it work until it doesn't work. Chris drops out on the first obstacle and bodies are flying into the water again. But this time it is off of the back of a defeat for Chris rather than a victory. Chris, he went too fast. If he just slowed down on that last set of bars, he might have been in business. Instead, he is out.
Oh my god.
Oh,
All
no.
right. Well, that was awkward. Yeah.
We had to do it all over again.
It's all good. I made the stage
Good
3,
job,
so the
mate.
boys gonna
Yeah,
make
good
the
job,
stage
mate.
3.
Good job, Chris.
Yeah,
Good
dude,
job.
fantastic.
Good job. All
At
the
least you
boys
didn't time
fell.
out on stage 3.
Yeah, that would
terrible,
have been really
terrible.
rough.
Chris becomes the first competitor since Elite MKB in Tournament 10 to fail the first obstacle on Stage 3. And in the blink of an eye, we are down to 4 competitors. Next up is Double Ump, his 8th time taking on the 3rd stage. Last time he was here, as you can see, in Tournament 20, 2 tournaments ago, he failed the Devil's Steps. With this being his 8th time, he has now surpassed Drago for the number of times he has reached the 3rd stage. Only Ree and Smokey, both on 10, have attempted the 3rd stage more times than Double Ump. All-time legend in Halo jumping, continuing to deliver and hoping he can deliver a memorable performance here today on the 3rd stage. He's always had an obstacle that's just been his nemesis on this stage. But the propeller bars will not be that as he spring jumps onto the Atom Slicer. We saw him do that on stage 2 with the Skywalk. Let's see how he will fare, since this is the first competitor attempting this obstacle that didn't make this obstacle, since Atlantic obviously contributed this obstacle. Ump has definitely got it rolling a little faster than Atlantic did, but is surviving through it, making his way through, and reaches the end and is through it nicely. Now, making his way up to the Devil Steps, the obstacle he failed 2 tournaments ago. After he failed it in Tournament 20, this obstacle was made easier in Tournament 21, and with this version being exactly the same, he of course is still facing the easier version. Can he get through it? Although this is his 8th time taking on Stage 3, this is only the 2nd time he is attempting this Stage 3 on Halo 5. He's been going for the spring jump technique here. Is being very meticulous with his techniques. What is that? He took a save jump there. Was that to activate his spring? He's now crouched down. Is he going to get the spring again? Yes, he is. Clearly has a plan here for how he wants to tackle this obstacle. Making his way onto the downward section, further than he got on this obstacle last time, and he's through it, onto the cliffhanger. Has never beaten a cliffhanger on this course. He's failed the old Halo 4 version, and he's failed this version, the Shin cliffhanger, on the MCC in Tournament 17. Now for the Halo 5 version, can he get through it? He gets a good jump. Double defeats the cliffhanger for the first time ever on this course. That is a personal best for Double. The Halo jumping legend is putting on a clinic right now, and he gets onto the first jumping bar that Atlantic could not. As I say, this obstacle is a lot tougher than it was in the last tournament. The bars are now exceedingly thin, and this last bar is a drop down, but you gotta watch your head because it's right underneath the hang climb, and you then have to transfer from the last bar onto the side rock, which is hanging on an overhang. This is not an easy jump, but makes it look easy with another spring jump. He's onto the hang climb. As usual, this obstacle has had its traditional modification. It just gets a slight tweak every tournament just to keep our competitors on their toes. But is flying through the hang climb right now. He's not wasting any time. He's zooming through. And he's up to the top and now heading for the spider flip. 2 obstacles left to go. Double, the godfather of Halo jumping. Taking more spring jumps. Gets around the corner. He's running into the wall. He does the 180. He goes for it and he makes it. That jump had been made harder. The gap, the distance, and the ledge were made tougher. The gap was made bigger and the ledges were made thinner. But that does not faze He is on to the final ring. The last obstacle of Stage 3 is on his way to the final stage. Into the head slide, a huge drop down onto the first ring. You can't full send these anymore. Drop down onto the second ring and then a big jump to the third ring. Taking his time, goes for it, gets the save jump, and even thought that jump was big, the final jump is even bigger. Double, the godfather of Halo jumping. He goes for it. Double is going on to the final stage. Double has defeated Stage 3. For the first time in his career, this long-time Halo jumping legend will be taking on the final stage on this course. And he is now the first competitor in Halo jumping history to achieve the Triple Crown, making it to the final stage, first on Smokey's course, then on Rock's course, and now on this course. Double had a plan all the way through this stage, and he stuck to it perfectly. He nailed every single one of these obstacles, and it resulted in success.
Yeah.
Let's go up!
You did it!
You got the triple crown! Let's go up! The triple crown! He's got the triple crown! Let's freaking go! First on mine, then Smokey's, now this. He did it up. Oh, let's freaking go up! Woo! That was amazing. You absolutely just dominated that stage.
I mean, obviously it feels really great to finally beat stage 3 on your course. I mean, this course has been around for 10 years, and I've been around for, competing on this course for most of those 10 years. So it's kind of cool as one of the old guys to like finally get it done on such a landmark tournament. If the final stage is anything like it was last time, it's going to be tough. Probably tougher than any final stage I've ever competed on in the course. So, to get to the top of it, it's going to be tough.
Double is the first man moving on to the final stage in Tournament 22. What a run from Double and now we still have half the field left to go. Next up on stage 3 is a man who would crave to join on the final stage. It is Alpha Puma. His 5th time making it to the 3rd stage. Last time out, he failed the transfer on the cliffhanger, which was, in his eyes, a huge step backwards because he'd failed the final jump on stage 3 in Tournament 20, the tournament before. Puma has made it his goal to get to the final stage. On this course, on Smokey's course, on any of the major courses. Making his way through the propeller bars. He does not like this obstacle. Puma has never been a fan of this obstacle. He's always been a little bit scared of it. Never failed it in his career though. He's beaten it every time he's made it to this stage. He's making his way through it again now. His 5th time making it to the 3rd stage. His 4th tournament in a row getting to the 3rd stage here on Halo 5. He was, of course, the only man to reach stage 3 in Tournament 19. Obviously got first place. Got first place again in Tournament 20. Joint first place alongside Smokey, failing the last jump. But then, I suppose it was huge disappointment for him in the last tournament, failing the cliffhanger, taking a step back from where he failed in 20, but also the fact that 3 other competitors beat stage 3. He probably saw it as a huge opportunity squandered to join them on the final stage. Puma has been looking good, kind of slightly gone under the radar so far this tournament. He got the job done easily on stage 1, had a fast time, and basically did the same again on stage 2. It wasn't the smoothest of runs on stage 2, but effective nonetheless, and Puma with an effective jump off the dismount of the atom slicer there, landing up on the top ledge. Now for the Devil's Steps. He was the first person ever to attempt this obstacle and has beaten it every time since then. And he's zoomed his way up the upward section. Now going to the downhill and gets it with a safe jump onto the cliffhanger where he failed in the last tournament. I haven't even mentioned the fact that the 3rd ledge has now been made thinner. It used to be a wider ledge, but look at the 3rd ledge, it's small, it's the same length as the rest of the ledge, but it does not stop Puma this time around. 3 out of 3 for our competitors now on the cliffhanger. The change to the cliffhanger has not phased or stopped any of our competitors in their tracks as he's making his way through the jumping bars, an obstacle he probably feels comfortable with, taking save jumps on. Puma almost overshot that 3rd jumping bar, lands on the 4th one without a save jump, which I wasn't expecting that, to be honest. Now Puma doesn't do spring jumps, so now he has to go for the sprint jump instead on the hang climb. He just about made it. He failed this obstacle in Tournament 19, beat this obstacle in Tournament 20. It's been modified. The crowd watching on. That, bizarrely, is Zandito, The guy who failed stage 1, slipping off the dismount of the halfpipe attack that caused cancellation to the filming. All the bizarre competitors to be watching Puma's stage 3 run. I think Puma found it a bit weird as well that he showed up to watch this run. But Puma is onto the spider flip, the highest point on this entire course outside of standing on top of the final stage tower. As I said, that the distance is further, and that second ledge that he's trying to get to is thinner. He's backing up, he jumps up, he jumps across. Puma! I think he might have actually landed it and took a safe jump just in case. Puma is on to the last obstacle again. 5 times now he's made it to the last obstacle. Twice on Smoggy's course, 3 times on this course. Starting with the head slide. This is actually based off of the original version of this obstacle on the MCC in Tournament 17 with the head slide. And then changed into where you drop down onto the rings, which is obviously what this obstacle has been in every Halo 5 tournament. Puma has made it to the last jump. He's failed this jump in the past. Can he do it this time? He goes for it! Alpha Puma has beaten stage 3! Alpha Puma is moving on to the final stage for the first time in his jump career. He has finally defeated a 3rd stage after years of failure. He has finally done it, getting his revenge on the cliffhanger, defeating the redesigned hang climb again, getting through the spider flip, which he was worried about, with the final stage in the background, and then getting the job done on the last jump.
Let's go! Let's go! Ah! Ah! Ah!
Dude, I think I scared my cat, dude. Oh my god, man. Oh my god.
That is the purest example of mission accomplished.
It's so emotional, man. Like, I actually beat it. It's been 16 third stages between you, Smokey, and Rog. And it's like, after 6 years, you're like, shit, I'm never gonna make it. And it's like, it finally came all together. And even like, when I was doing it, I thought like in the back of my mind, like, I'm gonna fail. Like at the cliffhanger, I was like, I'm gonna fail. When I got to the spider flip, I was so nervous, dude. I was like, I'm gonna undershoot it. Same at the final ring. I was like, I'm undershooting it. It's gonna be a big cheese fest. It's gonna be like classic Puma. But I made it finally. And it's like, it's so good to actually be at a final stage. Oh my god, dude.
2 clears in a row, with 2 competitors left to go who both beat this stage in the last tournament, and they've tried building a tower that's crumbled about 2 steps after they started moving.
This news then, it's not really new, it's just a very, tough from the last tournament. Obviously 3 people got beat it. It's gonna be pretty interesting. So yeah, I don't know how I'm going to do at the minute.
Strafe, with really no expectations, it sounds like. Of course, beat the odds in the last tournament alongside Rog. First time on stage 3 and ended up beating it. So when you do something like that, really, like, the sky's the limit, or is there just no expectations on your next run? I don't think Vulcan knows what to expect from himself after such an incredible run last time out. So let's see how far he can get. Don't rule him out of beating this stage again. We've already seen the last 2 competitors beat it. There is no reason why Strafe cannot do it as well. He's had a great tournament so far, getting the new speed record on stage 1 and back on stage 3 again today as he goes up for the Atom Slicer and misses it. And Strafe Helix, the stage 4 finalist in the last tournament, drops out early. He does technically beat the first obstacle by touching the Atom Slicer, but it is the smallest consolation possible to him. He is out on stage 3.
Oh my god.
No!
Oh.
What
Nice.
fails does that count as? What kind of fails does that count as? First or?
How many? I cleared
You tried
stage 3
me,
to
yo.
fill the first obstacle.
A little bit of confusion there. It was technically the second obstacle. I love that Atlantic is asking because he wonders if his own obstacle just got a failure on it, which it did.
Getting back to stage 3, I feel like this is where I have the least pressure. Getting to stage 3 is always a good performance for me. So this is the stage where I just get to sit back, relax, and have a little bit of fun. And if great things happen, then they do. If I fall into the water, that's all right because I got to stage 3. So I'm happy with myself. I'm happy with this tournament. Now let's just see if we can add a little cherry on top.
Smokey finds himself in the same position he found himself in the last tournament. 2 competitors already through to the final stage with his run still to go as the last runner on the 3rd stage. Moving pretty quickly through the propeller bars. Didn't full send the whole obstacle. Only person who's done that is Chris. And we saw what happened to him as Smokey does not make the same mistake, although he almost fails the next jump on the Atom Slicer. Does not make the same mistake that Strafe did. Ironically, actually, he saw that failure and was a little bit worried about that jump, but he nailed it quite nicely. Smokey having a lot of trouble getting this Atom Slicer moving. Most people have managed to get it rolling after 1, maybe 2 punches. So Smokey has had to take a lot of punches there just to get it onto the track. But he has got it rolling very slowly. Atlantic, I'm sure secretly very happy that his obstacle has taken somebody out, even if it was, you know, somebody failing getting onto the obstacle rather than someone actually failing the obstacle properly. But Smokey is in complete control on the Atom Slicer. And like Puma, goes for the quick dismount and is on to the Devil Steps. He already holds the record for the most clears on this stage, having beat this stage in the last tournament for a record 3rd time. Now looking to go for his 4th stage 3 clear. Making his way down the last jump. Oh, a little close there. Had to get a very late save jump there. We've seen that a couple of times in the past, in previous tournaments. Smokey with a save jump to get onto the second ledge. That one might have been more precaution than actual necessity. As Smokey defeats the cliffhanger yet again. He's never failed a cliffhanger. And nobody will be failing the cliffhanger despite the changes to make it more difficult. Nobody will be failing it today. On to the jumping bars. Chris was defeated. Strafe was defeated. Atlantic failed this obstacle. All 3 of our failures have been in ways that we don't really associate as being normal fails. We certainly don't see them at all, really. On stage 3, Smokey almost overshot that 4th bar. Gets a couple of save jumps just to be sure. And now for this tricky jump onto the hang climb. Smokey almost slid off that first rock. Smokey is playing with fire. But he is hanging in there like the champion he is. By his standards, this has not been the smoothest of runs, but it was not the smoothest of runs on stage 2 either. I said earlier, might have been the scariest Stage 2 run he's ever had on this course, and he's certainly had plenty of them. As he eyes up this jump, almost overshoots it, but again takes a couple of save jumps to be sure. Now up to the top and making his way onto the spider flip. He doesn't need reminding, but I'll say it anyway. The only person to ever fail this obstacle on this jump right here, which he gets over again. Beaten this in both of the last 2 tournaments. He also stuck the ledge, but decides to go for the save jump. Smokey is going on to the last obstacle for the 3rd tournament in a row. Is Smokey going to join the others on the final stage? Quickly into the head slide, dropping down, gets the save jump. 3 jumps left to go. That one's not too bad. This one is a tough one though. Smokey gets it, slides a little bit. He's on to the last jump again. Is Smokey about to make more history on stage 3? He goes for it. Smokey Massacre has done it again. A record 4th final stage appearance, a 4th stage 3 clear. And he is the first competitor on this course to beat stage 3 in back-to-back tournaments. He didn't have it all his own way. It was certainly not the smoothest of rides. On the Atom Slicer, the dismount of the Devil's Steps, the jumping bars, and of course, the closest he came to falling here on the hang climb. He almost slid off. A perfectly timed save jump saved him and put him on the road to history.
Love you.
Let's go! Smokey, when you yelled as loud as you could, hello, old friend, I thought that was the yell of falling. I thought you failed when you did that. Oh, God.
I had to bust it out. You know, there's a lot of pent-up energy.
Is this your 4th or 3rd final stage? 4th.
My 4th.
That's just ridiculous.
Man, clearing stage 3 in the last tournament felt really good. I think this one felt even better. This stage was definitely tougher than last tournament. I was feeling a lot more pressure on the obstacles, not necessarily on the run itself, but just the obstacles were so stressful. So I think that hang climb, man, I was freaking out on that one, but got by it. Just getting back to that final jump, I knew I'd failed that one before. I'd cleared it before, so I knew anything was possible. But I'm just glad that I had the focus and the ability to get back to the final stage.
Once again, Smokey wraps up the 3rd stage with another trip to the final stage tower. 6 competitors stepped up and the 3rd stage cut the field in half, with all 3 failures coming in unique ways that we haven't seen before. Now we can move on for the 2nd tournament in a row to the final stage tower. Once again, we have 3 incredible competitors still standing to take on this task. 3 heroes in Tournament 22 that have outlasted everyone else, defeating the first 3 stages. But now, they face arguably the toughest challenge of their careers. 2 obstacles, starting with the Heavenly Ladder, 14 jumps back and forth to reach the halfway point, and then another 14 jumps on the cable climb, which no one managed to defeat in the last tournament. The time limit is 35 seconds. The goal is simple. Reach the top of the tower within the time, and you will become only the 3rd competitor ever to achieve total victory. In the last tournament, the focus was all on the young, new generation, with Rog and Strafe both defeating Stage 3 on their first times attempting it. Today, instead, we have 3 of the most experienced and most successful competitors of all time in Halo jumping history. 3 men who have strived for this goal every tournament, but have had very different experiences getting here. 1 man, the most experienced competitor of all time in Halo jumping history. one man who has made this his goal for the last 6 years, and one man who has tasted glorious victory and heartbreaking defeat on this final stage. Will any of them have what it takes to reach the top? Could more than one man achieve total victory? Or will this final stage wipe all of them out mercilessly?
Yeah, it feels really good after, like 16 appearances to finally be making my first final on your course. But it's kind of good just to get that out of the way, and hopefully I can get up the top here. It's going to be a tough one, especially, it looks a lot like the Tournament 21 final, so I think all the guys who made it here we're going to be in for a tough one.
The first man to take on the final stage is Double Ump. Ump is an all-time legend in Halo jumping history, having made a name for himself in Spartan Warrior as one of the first real success stories on that course. As recently as October 2021, we were still discovering some of Ump's successes on Spartan Warrior, making it to the last jump of Stage 2 in the final Spartan Warrior tournament. Less than 6 months after that run took place, he made his debut in Tournament 4 of this course on Halo Reach. But despite huge expectations for his newcomer performance, it took a little while to get to grips with this new course. On his third appearance in Tournament 6, he got his first Stage 1 clear, making it to the third stage, and he made it back to Stage 3 in Tournament 8, where he picked up his first place finish. He then suffered 2 Stage 1 failures in a row, including a timeout on the last obstacle of Stage 1 in the first Halo 4 tournament. But he bounced back in Tournament 11 to get another Stage 3. After that, he took a 6-month break from the course before returning in Tournament 14, where we saw Ump's biggest successes, including his personal best performance in Tournament 15. 1 week prior to the start of Tournament 17, Ump announced the biggest shock of them all. He was going to retire from Halo jumping after Tournament 17, making that tournament his final appearance. This led to a huge change of plans, as Ump was originally planning to be announced as one of the 5 new Xbox One All-Stars. Instead, he was given one last hurrah where he notched up another Stage 3 appearance. As we now know, of course, that retirement was short-lived, as he missed just one tournament and was back for Tournament 19, where he suffered his first Stage 1 failure since Tournament 10, going out on the flying chute. He hasn't failed Stage 1 since then, and as we now know, Ump has achieved the biggest moment of his career on this course, now stepping up to the final stage for his first time. Double Ump, the godfather of Halo jumping. When Halo 5 came along, Ump had already established himself as a legend that had never been to a final stage. Today, he now steps up to his 6th final stage attempt across the 3 big courses. The first man to have reached the final on all 3 courses. He got the job done on Spartan Sasuke. Could he become a grand champion on his 16th appearance on this course? He has already set the record for the longest wait to get your first final stage. Will it end in glory? 3 shots! Ump is away! His 35 seconds have begun. He's got a technique on the Heavenly Ladder. He's going back and forth, going at a slight angled approach. Something we didn't see from many of our finalists in the last tournament, and it appears to have worked pretty effectively. He's still got half the time as he gets onto the cable climb. These cables span the 4 corners of the tower, and Ump's clearly got a technique for these as well. He's full sending the ones which go straight up, and he's almost at the top. Ump! No! Ump! Oh my goodness! He had it! He failed the last cable, the same jump that Rog failed in the last tournament. But I tell you something, he had the time. He had the time to reach that last cable and maybe just hit the buzzer within the time limit. Ump Just like we saw on the third stage, he had a game plan, and it worked on the Heavenly Ladder. It looked like it was working on the cable climb as well, but he just went that little bit too fast on the final cable. We could see here from this third person perspective, he just missed his bearings. He lost his bearings, got a little to the side, got his angles wrong, and that was how close he came to achieving total victory. Unbelievable.
Jesus, dude. He was crushing that.
You had that?
Yeah.
God, he looked so good on that thing.
That was
Oh my
perfect
goodness.
all the way until that point.
That was so good.
That was really good.
Nice try, dude.
Yeah, that was a tough run. I think it was only about 2 jumps away or something, but yeah, I kind of had a game plan going in, and yeah, I knew I had to full send it, and maybe I went a little too thin there at the end. It just got a little squirrely. Well, you know, I wish Smokey and Puma well. It's obviously a tough stage. It's gonna, I mean, it'll take everything out of you to get up to the top.
Honestly, I feel really calm. It's kind of a culmination of like the 6-year journey that I've done. Just being able to work this hard and get here, and it's like I wanted to give up a lot, and getting here, it makes me happy that I didn't stop jumping or all that. So, just even one attempt on the final stage, honestly, is just really nice.
The next man to take on the final stage is Alpha Puma. After making his debut on Niwa in Tournament 15, in which Puma suffered an early Stage 1 exit, Puma went on a training spree to become the legendary competitor we know today. And on his second appearance in Tournament 16, that training paid off, getting to the third stage and also making it to the last obstacle. After that incredible breakout performance, Puma has had one goal: to make it to the final stage on a Halo jumping course. He came up one jump short on the MCC in Tournaments 14 and 15 on Halo Ninja Warrior. After the move to Halo 5, Puma has had a perfect spree of success on Stage 1 of this course, clearing 5 times out of 5 and making it to the third stage 4 times. He got back to the last obstacle in the landmark 20th tournament, but once again came up short on that final jump. It looked like Puma was never going to achieve the lifelong goal he set himself in Halo jumping. But now, 6 years after making his debut, he has finally achieved his goal, and here in Tournament 22, he now stands on the precipice at the summit of the final stage. Alpha Puma. Many believed this moment would never happen. Even Puma himself probably thought at one point this would never happen. But at long last, Puma managed to put it all together on Stage 3 and now stands at the summit of the final stage. It's taken all this effort for him just to get here. Could he make one final stand? Can he deliver one final incredible performance and maybe achieve total victory to become the third Grand Champion? The moment Puma has been waiting for all his jumping career. The 35 seconds of his life are about to begin. Time started. Puma's rise begins on the Heavenly Ladder. Not going quite as fast as Ump was. He just pauses for a second then. He's being that little bit more careful. Ump got onto the golden peg with 20 seconds left. Puma is a little bit down on time. Takes a save jump on the cable climb. That's not going to help him. But he's progressing and he misses the jump to the third cable. The first sprint jump he misses and comes up short. And just like that, Puma's final stage attempt is done. Alpha Puma, He put so much into this tournament just to get here. But he came up short on that third cable. You can see it here. He didn't sprint the jumps going straight up, the ones that Ump was full sending. Puma had no problems with that one, but the sprint jumps, the jumps from one corner to the other, he got it wrong. He came up short. And his final stage is done.
No! You got up there though. He actually did beat Snaz. That's bullshit.
Better than me.
I didn't know you had a sprint. I didn't know you had a sprint.
Get in!
Hey. Did better than Bolt last tournament.
Honestly, I'm pretty happy. I got to the cables, which is something I wanted to do. I know I wasn't too fast, but I didn't want to make a stupid mistake. Yeah, I failed not realizing you had a sprint, but I know that for if there is a take two ever in Sasuke 23 or anything like that. But I'm happy with the run. Being at a final stage was cool.
It's great to be back on the final stage. I am still worried because I did this one in the last tournament, and I obviously didn't even reach the top of the tower. I got pretty close to the top in 14, and then obviously got to the top in 16. So I would like to at least get back to the top this time. I don't know if I'm going to be able to do this final stage within the time limit because it does look very tough, and it was very tough last time. So we'll see what happens. But right now I'm excited, but I'm also a little worried about my ability to beat this stage.
Once again, the last man standing to close out the tournament is Smokey Massacre. Smokey's first 4 appearances on this course all came on Halo Reach, where he managed to get one stage 1 clear but never really looked like a competitor capable of challenging for the major glories. That all changed after the move to Halo 4 and his decision to begin his own course, Halo Ninja Warrior. The constant forging and practicing of his own obstacles allowed Smokey to hone his skills. And although he still failed Stage 1 again in the first Halo 4 tournament, it was clear Smokey was a different competitor. That training paid off in the next tournament when he got his first Stage 3 attempt. And in Tournament 13, we got our first taste of Smokey showing he could compete with the best, getting his first of 5 first place finishes. He then took it one step further, making it to the final stage for his first time. As we now know, that was the first of a record-breaking 4 final stage attempts he has now had on this course, and with his performances today, he has become the first competitor to reach the final stage in back-to-back tournaments on Niwa, something that has been very rarely achieved by competitors on any course across all of Halo jumping. After failing to defeat this final stage in the last tournament, will his experience from that failure give him the courage and the ability to defeat this stage this time around and get his second total victory? When Gotenks achieved that incredible feat of back-to-back final stages on his course, did Smokey ever think that he would become the first person to do it on this course? There's just about no record that Smokey hasn't claimed. The Stage 1 clear record in this tournament tied the Stage 2 clear record, extended his own Stage 3 clear record in this tournament. Could he now become the first 2-time champion? The first man to take on this version of the final stage for a second time. He couldn't get the job done on the first try. Can he do it on the second try? Let's find out! 35 seconds for Smokey to write the history books yet again. Looking pretty good on the Heavenly Ladder, not had any major slip-ups or slow pauses to speak of so far. He's basically on Ump's pace. He quickly gets onto the first cable as well, but he screws up the jump to the second cable! And just like that, Smokey is out! He fails the cable climb again, but he fails even earlier than he did last time. And it wasn't on one of the sprint jumps, it was on one of the simple upward jumps. Smokey, he was looking so good up to that point, but just like he got his angles wrong. He just went that little bit too far to the side. Smokey and have just shown how thin those cables are, how precise you have to be, and just how tough this final stage is, as Smokey is beaten again.
Oh my god.
No.
No. Damn.
God, it was smooth up to
You were moving pretty
smooth.
good too.
You were going at a really good pace too. You were at like 18. You were at 18 seconds. You could have had a chance. Good job, Smoke.
Dang, you know what?
Right now, you have to put up
If
that
my sensitivity was a little higher, maybe I would have turned further and lined up the jump better. I'm a little disappointed, I'm not gonna lie. I was feeling pretty good climbing up the first half of that stage, and to fail like that kind of feels a little silly and you know, unfortunate. I just didn't line up that one jump. I tried to turn around. I wanted to go fast because, you know, I want to have a shot. Obviously, reaching the top within the time limit, but I rushed it a little bit, got a little too excited on that jump, and honestly, what was probably one of the easiest jumps on that stage, I messed up simply because I rushed it. So it's a little embarrassing, but the fact that I got here again makes it all worth it for me. So I'm not going to beat myself up about it too much.
Once again, all 100 competitors failed to complete the 4-stage obstacle course. In the end, it was that got the closest, failing the same jump that Rog failed in Tournament 21, just missing his mark and coming up just short of achieving total victory. This was only second ever first place finish on Niwa, and his first since Tournament 8 almost 7.5 years ago. Although this tournament saw less overall success across all 4 stages compared to the last one, there were still many great individual moments. Seeing competitors like Atlantic, Chris, and Z finally pick up a Stage 1 clear for their first times was truly memorable. They have become a huge part of the jumping community since the move to the Xbox One, and their success was well deserved for their many years of participation. Irish's comeback success will live long in the memory, not just on this course, but in all of Halo jumping history. But for me, the biggest takeaway probably has to be our 3 finalists. Between them, Puma and Smokey have amassed more than 40 appearances alone on this course. And no matter how experienced they are, they have continued to strive for ultimate glory. For to have set his personal best 18 tournaments after he made his debut, for Puma to have achieved his ultimate goal in Halo jumping after 6 years of trying, and for Smokey to continue to tear up the record books, they are the perfect example that whether you've been competing for 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, or even 10 years, if you keep pushing and you keep believing, you can achieve your dreams in Halo jumping. And even if you were beaten this time around, always remember there will be another tournament and another opportunity for success. I would like to thank everybody that competed in this tournament and every other competitor that has contributed to this course's 10-year history. Without you guys, Ninja Warrior of Halo would not be the course that it is, and I would not have so many incredible memories to cherish and love. I hope you guys have enjoyed watching Tournament 22, and if you have, like, comment and subscribe, and we will see you guys again very soon for the next tournament, Tournament 23, the last tournament on Halo 5. Until then guys, we'll see you again next time very soon. I've been HuntUnit751, goodbye guys.